The High Knight's Gauntlet, a B-type armor piece, offered a 3% reduction in physical damage and, importantly, protection against hand injuries. However, it came with a caveat. Movement speed would be reduced if the wearer's strength fell below 80. Despite the challenges, a fierce determination burned within. "I haven't lost yet," the warrior declared, a vow echoing in the confined space. "I won't hand this item over to anyone else. I can take back my stolen dagger and call it again." The warrior analyzed the situation, noting the shallowness of the current objective. "It's shallow," they muttered, urging themselves on. A bit more. Focusing their energy, they activated Vital Strike LV1, a dagger-specific skill costing 70 mana. "You have learned to attack efficiently," a notification echoed, followed by, "You now deal critical damage as you attack your foe's vital areas." The warrior repeated this process, activating Vital Strike again and again, each time the same message is appearing. "You have learned to attack efficiently. You now deal critical damage as you attack your foe's vital areas." The repetitive nature of the notifications underscored the warrior's focused, almost desperate, reliance on this skill. A sudden alarm shattered the concentration. "You have slain Blood-Red Commander Egress." Another alarm chimed in quick succession. "You leveled up! You leveled up!" The warrior, catching their breath, questioned the outcome. "Did I win? That was really close." A series of zeros appeared, followed by the phrase, "Zero Ability Technique," highlighting the reliance on raw power and perhaps a touch of luck. Skill experience that I wasn't better in any of those. It's pure luck that I managed to win. If I made a mistake, I would have been in serious trouble, they admitted, acknowledging the perilous nature of the encounter. If it's that strong, it could fight toe-to-toe with an A-rank hunter and not fall behind. The spoils of victory were then revealed. Items: Red Knight's Helmet, Dominator's Touch Runestone, Heartstone have been obtained. The warrior's spirits lifted. "Wow, this reward is on another level. It looked like it was worth to risk myself here." Opening the leather pouch, another notification appeared. "You have received 1.5 million gold." The warrior was astonished. "They gave me as much gold as I have right now. To think that my gold doubled in an instant." The total gold count was updated. Total gold 3,115,629 G. But there was more. Furthermore, an S-rank item. The details of the prize were displayed. Item: Red Knight's Helmet. Item class S-type armor. Plus 15% physical damage reduction. Plus 20 stamina. Plus 20 strength. Excitement surged through the warrior. Excluding the Demon Castle key, isn't it the first time I've got my hands on a piece of S-rank equipment? The stats are on another level. The warrior calculated the implications. Even with the 15% damage reduction, it would be amazing, but plus 20 stats on vitality and strength as well. That's incredible. Strength 128 plus 20, vitality 87 plus 20, agility 127, intelligence 6. Physical damage reduction 46% plus 15% equipped, and a runestone as well. I wonder what skill it contains. The details of the runestone were then displayed. Runestone. Dominator's Touch type runestone. A skill can be obtained by breaking the rune. A new item appeared. Item: Half-stone type consumable, quest exclusive item. If you break the half-stone, you will instantly leave the dungeon. If the job quest ends, the dungeon is automatically destroyed. Cannot be stored. This puzzled the warrior. Why was I given a half-stone? This was definitely the boss room. If a heartstone was dropped, perhaps, does that mean the quest is not over yet? The information about the Red Knight's Helmet, the runestone, and the half-stone was reiterated. Item: Red Knight's Helmet. Item class S-type armor. Plus 15% physical damage reduction. Plus 20 stamina. Plus 20 strength. Runestone. Dominator's Touch type runestone. A skill can be obtained by breaking the rune. Item: Half-stone type consumable, quest exclusive item. If you break the half-stone, you will instantly leave the dungeon. If the job quest ends, the dungeon is automatically destroyed. Cannot be stored. The details of the previously acquired leather pouch were also recalled. Item: Leather pouch type container. A pouch used to store possessions. Contains 1.5 million gold. A lingering thought echoed in the warrior's mind, a question that hung heavy in the air after the intense encounter. Does that mean the quest is not over yet? The weight of that possibility settled upon them, a mix of anticipation and trepidation. Time seemed to stretch, each second pregnant with unspoken challenges. Then, a notification appeared, confirming their suspicions. The job change quest will begin. A wave of grim determination washed over the warrior. I knew it. There's no way that was the end. The nature of the challenge was then revealed. The longer you last, the more points you can collect. That will place you into a higher tier, job points. The warrior understood the implication. This wasn't simply about survival. It was about endurance, about pushing their limits to achieve the best possible outcome. The longer I last, good luck, they muttered to themselves, a wry acknowledgement of the arduous path ahead. A single second ticked by, marking the official start of the trial. Despite the previous strenuous battle, the warrior assessed their current state and found a flicker of confidence. I can take these guys on even with my current condition. If they were on the level of Igress, the first enemies would have been impossible to beat. The warrior understood the stakes. Every second means more points, so the chance of obtaining a hidden class goes up the longer the timer goes on, befitting for a job change quest. Time continued to flow, measured in precious seconds. 14 seconds. My remaining mana is 390. Stealth requires 200 mana to use. I still have 190 mana left to maintain stealth. Mana is consumed every second. That means I can buy 3 minutes of time with stealth. The warrior calculated their resources, planning their strategy with meticulous care. I still have enough HP and MP. I'll try to last as long as possible. Suddenly, a new threat emerged. Magician is using a skill, detection. An alarm sounded, confirming the worst. It detected me through my stealth. The warrior was forced to adapt, their carefully laid plans disrupted. A new skill was activated by an unseen opponent. Skill, Bloodlust was activated. The target stats will decrease by 50% for 1 minute. Bloodlust mana consumption is 100. The warrior knew this was a critical moment. I only get one chance. I have to deal with as many as possible during this window. The onslaught began. Numbers flickered into view, marking the dwindling health of the encroaching enemies. HP 1, 036, 1, 027, 8. The enemies emerged from the gates in relentless waves. They come out of the gates faster than I can deal with them. The pressure mounted, threatening to overwhelm the warrior. Passive skill, Perseverance is activating. The situation was rapidly deteriorating. Damn it, I took this too lightly. I used too much mana on stealth. At this rate, I won't be able to use any skills soon. A difficult decision loomed. Should I use the half-stone? The warrior weighed the options. I'm not sure what I gain from obtaining a job, but at my current level, the difficulty is too high. If I use the hearthstone, it means I give up the quest. The weight of failure pressed down, but the warrior refused to yield easily. The time. It's only been 5 minutes. 5 minutes and 8 seconds. There's no way. I have to persevere. A surge of determination coursed through them. It can't end like this. Because I was at rock bottom, I longed for the highest place. I know the sadness of being weak more than anyone. The harsh realities of their past echoed in their mind. How much help can an E-rank be? Even the guild is the same. We have to send people who have war potential. That guy, he doesn't. That guy always hides behind teammates to stay alive. To think that someone who can't even handle one monster properly is a hunter. The warrior's thoughts drifted to the cruel whispers that had followed them. His nickname is the world's weakest. The world's weakest, not the strongest. That's what we call S-rank hunters. Some is considered to be the weakest. I mean, he's weak enough to get hurt in an E-ranked dungeon. Is he actually the weakest? Yeah, he's probably the weakest of us all. He's actually that weak, so that means our dungeon will be weak as well since he came. The cutting remark stung, fueling their resolve. Hey, he might hear us. Let's end it for now. The memories of past failures and the dismissive words of others fueled a burning desire to prove themselves. The warrior recalled the well-meaning but ultimately disheartening words of others. Son, you've done what you can. How about getting some rest? Jin-Woo, please get some rest now. Wasn't that all your fault? Why do you always move away from the safe road and dance with danger on every occasion? Isn't it a great fortune that an E-rank hunter like you was able to grow this much? These words, intended as comfort, instead highlighted their perceived limitations. The warrior refused to accept this narrative. They would not be defined by their past or the opinions of others. This trial, this job change quest, was their opportunity to rewrite their story. They would endure, they would persevere, and they would emerge stronger than ever before. The warrior focused their attention back to the immediate threat, the relentless waves of enemies pressing in. They would not surrender, not while a breath remained in their body. The determination etched on their face, a fierce defiance against the odds, a silent promise to themselves and to all those who had doubted them. The warrior adjusted their grip on their weapon, every muscle tense, ready to meet the next wave. The memories of past hardship, the sting of ridicule, all coalesced into a burning resolve. They would not be the world's weakest. They would not be defined by their E-rank status. They would not be a burden to others. This quest was their crucible, and they would emerge from it forged anew. The warrior began to move with a renewed sense of purpose. Each strike was precise, each movement calculated. They focused on exploiting the weaknesses of their opponents, using their agility to evade attacks and their strength to deliver powerful blows. They conserved their remaining mana, using skills only when absolutely necessary. The battlefield became a blur of motion, the warrior a whirlwind of action amidst the chaos. Why do you always stray from the safe path, dancing with danger at every turn? Isn't it fortunate that a hunter of your initial standing has managed to progress this far? Isn't that so? The disembodied voice, laced with a mixture of condescension and a strange sort of admiration, echoed in Jin-Woo's mind. A phantom image of himself, transformed, stood before him. Sung Jin-Woo, wow. Is this truly me? It's hard to believe we are the same person. You're taller. You've gained considerable muscle, and your gaze is far sharper. You even project an aura of strength. The image paused, its expression shifting from observation to something akin to mockery. But the only tangible change is your outward appearance. Deep down, you remain the same, fundamentally vulnerable. What, then, is the true distinction between you and the person you once were? You've once again placed yourself on the precipice of ruin. The phantom self continued its relentless critique. E-rank hunter Sung Jin-Woo, ultimately, that is your defining characteristic. If you cannot master self-preservation, your bravery becomes mere foolishness. Enough, Jin-Woo retorted, the phantom's words striking a painful chord within him. Unfazed by his outburst, the phantom persisted. You have a long and arduous journey ahead. From this point forward, you will be faced with difficult choices, situations where you might have to make difficult decisions that could affect many people, including those closest to you. You yourself will be the architect of your own downfall. The phantom's words triggered a fragmented memory, a sense of déjà vu. What? It feels like this has happened before. But what transpired afterward? Confusion clouded his thoughts. I can't quite recall. Quest directives. Daily quest. Preparing for ascendancy. Objective. Push-ups 0 out of 100. Sit-ups 0/100. Squats 0/100. Running 0 out of 10 kilometers. Warning. Failure to fulfill this daily objective will result in a penalty connected to this quest. A timer appeared, counting down relentlessly. 7 seconds remaining. 6-5. Is the daily objective expiring? A chilling premonition settled over him. They say fortune favors the bold. It would appear that allowing you to simply perish here would be wasteful. The phantom's image began to dissipate, leaving a final, ominous farewell. Farewell. 1 second, 0 seconds. An alarm shattered the silence. Daily quest failed. Immediately, another alarm sounded, its tone even more urgent. Relocation to the penalty zone commencing. The world around Jin-Woo dissolved, reforming into a starkly different environment. This is the penalty zone? Wait. A sudden realization dawned on him. Did I even complete my daily objective today? I was so focused on completing the previous task that it completely slipped my mind. I assumed this would be a swift process, something I could conclude within a single night. This is far from ideal. I need to secure a job advancement quickly and then address my daily objectives. A wave of anxiety washed over him. If this takes more than 12 hours, I could become prey to the centipede once again. I managed to escape by the skin of my teeth last time. But if I were to encounter it in my current state, could I truly overcome it? The weight of his negligence pressed heavily upon him. In retrospect, I completely neglected today's daily objective. The allotted time has expired. How foolish of me to assume I would emerge unscathed from that situation. His current condition was displayed before him, a stark reminder of his weakened state. HP 90, 310 to 278, MP 202/800, fatigue 91. The fatigue level was particularly concerning. Good luck. The longer you endure, the more points you accrue, which will elevate you to a higher classification, job points. The longer good luck. As of 1 second, the repeated well wishes struck Jin-Woo as peculiar. Was this trial designed to be so incredibly arduous that it necessitates such encouragement? Or is it simply a gesture of support, urging me to strive for a higher score? He pondered the implications of the message. Fortune, chance, happenstance, whatever term you prefer. Fatigue 91. I believe this is the first instance of my fatigue exceeding 90. Remembering the substantial sum of gold he had acquired, Jin-Woo decided to utilize a restorative item. Given my current financial resources, I should utilize the highest quality restorative potion I possess. As he consumed the potion, notifications appeared in rapid succession. Fatigue restoration commencing. Fatigue restoration commencing. Fatigue restoration commencing. While the potion effectively addressed his fatigue, a critical issue remained. While my exhaustion can be mitigated, my physical condition remains unchanged. It appears these potions offer no restorative effect for physical condition. Very well, the reality of his situation sank in. Severely compromised. It seems the only recourse is to patiently await the natural restorative processes of my body. I am uncertain of the restorative properties within the job change trial zone, but perhaps I can facilitate some recovery through advancement within this space. Even if I am vulnerable to a single significant impact, I have never felt more focused. A new concern arose. The fundamental question is whether the inhabitants of this area will facilitate my advancement. Another cryptic message materialized. Until we meet again. The enigmatic message further heightened the tension. Indeed, if I manage to endure until then. Suddenly, an alarm blared, its tone demanding attention. Penalty quest initiated. Objective, endurance. Goal. Remain within this space until the designated time elapses. Time allocation, 4 hours. Time remaining, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. The weight of the challenge settled upon Jin-Woo. 4 hours. In his current state, within a penalty zone. If the discomfort does not overcome me, he declared, a steely resolve hardening his features, it will only serve to strengthen me. The timer began its relentless descent. Time remaining, minute 0, seconds 0. Oh well, a voice murmured, seemingly from a distance. What a strange turn of events. Why isn't he back yet? Is he still occupied with his duties at this late hour? Or perhaps, could he have found companionship? A chuckle followed. No, there's certainly no possibility of that. I explicitly stated as much to him. The voice then shifted to a more serious tone. There's a parent-teacher meeting scheduled for today. He'll undoubtedly be present. Meanwhile, Jin-Woo found himself trapped in a relentless trial. Penalty quest, survive. Goal, remain within this space until the designated time elapses. Time required, 4 hours. Remaining time, 0 hours, 15 minutes, 22 seconds. The clock was ticking, and the pressure was mounting. Suddenly, a notification appeared, Vital Strike LV1. Then, in quick succession, Vital Strike skill has leveled up. You leveled up. You leveled up. You leveled up. A small measure of relief washed over him. As expected, penalty zones allow for recovery through advancement. He considered his options. Since I can also access the store within this space, I can supplement my recovery with restorative potions. He reaffirmed his focus. Penalty quest, survive. Goal, remain within this space until the designated time elapses. Time required, 4 hours. Remaining time, 0 hours, 0 minutes. He noted the time. 3 minutes before I return to the job change quest. I still have a brief window for preparation. He considered his current equipment. Recycle's Fong is insufficient to penetrate the heavy defenses of those armored adversaries. I must utilize every available resource. I require a more potent weapon. He accessed the store interface. Store. A dagger suitable for piercing heavily armored foes. Guardian Saber. 890,000 G. Guardian Saber. 1.3 million G. Oracle Sword. 1.8 million G. Stone Axe. 2.8 million G. Night Killer. 3,102,629 G. Found it. He quickly compared the options. Oracle Sword. 1.8 million G. Stone Axe. 2.8 million G. Night Killer. 3,102,629 G. He made his decision. Purchase confirmed. Night Killer. A wave of anticipation washed over him. With this, the next encounter will unfold quite differently. The details of his new acquisition were displayed. Item: Night Killer. Item class: B-type dagger. Enhancement: plus 75 attack. Special effect: Night Slayer. When utilized against heavily armored opponents, inflicts 25% additional damage. He considered the implications. With this weapon, I won't risk losing my armament as I did with the half-stone. He then purchased a stock of bandages for immediate aid. Purchase confirmed. Bandages? He knew he needed to test his new equipment. There's no alternative. I must assess its effectiveness. He then turned his attention to another resource. I still possess this remaining runestone, Dominator's Touch. A skill can be obtained by shattering the rune. This is the runestone I acquired after the encounter with Gang Tae-shik. I will attempt to absorb and integrate its power. He focused his intent, and a notification appeared. Skill: Dominator's Touch has been learned. Skill: Dominator's Touch LV1. Active. Mana cost: none. Effect: allows manipulation of objects without physical contact. He considered the implications of this new ability. A skill without any mana expenditure? Its potential seems quite significant based on the description. Could this be the technique that individual utilized? Though, I doubt I can manipulate excessively large objects. He attempted to test the skill on a nearby object, but another notification appeared. The object remains unmoved. Your proficiency is too low. His attention returned to the immediate challenge. Penalty quest: survive. Goal: remain within this space until the designated time elapses. Time required: 4 hours. Remaining time: 0 hours, 0 minutes, 4 seconds. Remaining time: 0 hours, 0 minutes. This is my final opportunity for preparation. Remaining time: 0 hours, 0 minutes, 1 second. Remaining time: 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. I must now rely on chance. A notification confirmed the end of the preparatory phase. Penalty quest concluding. As time passed within the penalty zone, Jin-Woo observed a disturbing trend. Their numbers have multiplied significantly within these few hours. He tested his new weapon against the encroaching adversaries. The Night Killer's special effect is undeniably beneficial. It's far more effective than relying on unarmed engagement. However, a deeper concern began to surface. There's a disconcerting aspect to this trial. I don't perceive any increase in my capabilities, even when facing such a large number of opponents. In the previous penalty zone, I faced those centipedes and even that commander Igress, and those encounters contributed to my growth. The system indicated that the restorative effects of level advancement would be limited, not the advancement itself. He observed the behavior of the adversaries. Although those figures have been chanting for some time, they haven't directly engaged me even once. Only the heavily armored figures have initiated contact. What, then, is the purpose of their incantations? Is it some form of weakening effect, perhaps a curse? No, I don't perceive any such influence. He then connected the dots. It's a summoning ritual. As time progresses, more of those armored figures emerge from the openings, constantly replenishing their numbers. No matter how many I neutralize, those armored figures offer no experience. These are not natural inhabitants of this space. They are constructs conjured by another entity. Therefore, they offer no experience. The summoners, they were the last to emerge from the openings. Those figures, it's you. He focused his attack on the chanting figures, and a notification confirmed his success. A figure has been neutralized. Then, a new skill was learned. Skill: dagger throw has been learned. He realized the true nature of the trial. Indeed, it appears those armored figures were being summoned through those openings by those figures. This is not the conclusion. I must locate the remaining summoners. He activated his stealth ability. Skill: Stealth LV1. Active. Mana cost: 200. Almost immediately, a warning appeared. A figure is utilizing a detection skill. 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 He realized his stealth had been compromised. You may have located my position, but in doing so, you have revealed your own. He counted the remaining figures. There are 5 summoners remaining. The details of his equipment and skills were then reiterated. Item: Night Killer. Item class: B-type dagger. Enhancement: plus 75 attack. Description: a dagger crafted with a robust, pointed blade capable of penetrating armor. The serrated edge ensures it maintains purchase even against hardened surfaces. Special effect: Night Slayer. When utilized against heavily armored opponents, inflicts 25% additional damage. Skill: Dominator's Touch LV1. Active. Mana cost. None. Effect. Allows manipulation of objects without physical contact. Skill. Dagger Throw LV1. Active. Mana cost. 30. Effect. Projects the dagger as a projectile, inflicting damage. As the skill level increases, damage and accuracy will improve. This is not the end, Jin-Woo declared, his voice echoing in the desolate space. I must locate the remaining figures. He activated his stealth skill, hoping to gain a tactical advantage. Skill. Stealth LV1. Active. Mana cost. 200. But almost immediately, a series of warnings disrupted his attempt at concealment. A figure is employing a detection technique. A figure is employing a detection technique. A figure is employing a detection technique. Magician Kian is employing a detection technique. Jin-Woo realized his position had been compromised. You may have discovered my location, he muttered, but in doing so, you've inadvertently exposed yourselves. He quickly assessed the situation. 5 summoners remain. He considered his options, his gaze falling upon the objects scattered around the area. Skill. Dominator's Touch LV1. Active. Mana cost. None. Effect. Grants the user the ability to manipulate objects without physical contact. He focused his will, attempting to use the skill to his advantage. Suddenly, a notification appeared. You have neutralized a figure. Only 4 remain. The tide of the encounter was beginning to shift. Time passed, filled with tense moments of pursuit and strategic maneuvering. Jin-Woo continued to utilize his skills and the environment to his advantage. He was no longer simply reacting to the summoner's actions. He was anticipating them, predicting their movements, and turning their own tactics against them. After a particularly close call, Jin-Woo found an opening. How long are you going to remain concealed behind your conjured figures? He taunted, his voice carrying across the desolate space. The summoners, unnerved by his relentless pursuit, began to make mistakes. Another notification confirmed his progress. You have neutralized a figure. 3 remain. The remaining summoners, realizing the precariousness of their situation, began to group together, hoping to provide mutual support. Jin-Woo recognized this shift in their strategy and adjusted his own approach accordingly. He knew that a direct confrontation would be difficult, so he decided to use his environment to his advantage. He lured them into a narrow passage, limiting their mobility and making them vulnerable to a coordinated assault. The moment arrived. Now is the time, Jin-Woo exclaimed, launching a swift and decisive attack. A flurry of notifications confirmed his success. You have neutralized a figure. You have neutralized a figure. You have neutralized a figure. The remaining summoners were no more. Jin-Woo paused, catching his breath. Phew. It would have taken considerably longer if they hadn't been grouped together while performing that conjuring ritual. He looked around the now silent space. Is it finally over? A new message appeared, displaying the elapsed time, 4 hours, 29 minutes, and 16 seconds. Then, another notification. All the entities within this area have been neutralized. A sense of anticipation filled him. The trial will conclude now, or will something else manifest? A final message appeared, confirming the successful completion of the trial. You will be presented with the opportunity to select a specialization based on the accumulated points. Relief washed over him. It's over. I will finally receive a specialization. He considered his options. Given my proficiency with daggers, it's quite clear that I should select the assassin specialization. A new message appeared, altering his expectations. A specialization will be granted after a thorough analysis of the player's actions. Jin-Woo was taken aback. I'm not permitted to choose? I allocated all my stat points to strength and agility. I'll likely receive either warrior due to my high strength or assassin due to my agility. Or perhaps even a tank specialization is possible, given my high vitality. He reasoned with himself. It will be one of those 3. Regardless, I will become significantly more powerful. Then, a series of cryptic sentences appeared, describing his performance during the trial. Wherever the player treads, the Reaper follows. The player's path is strewn with the remnants of conflict and the lingering scent of conflict. As the player possesses formidable power, they do not rely on their companions, overcoming every challenge with their own might. Your thirst for power burns fiercely, enough to summon those who dwell in the Valley of Shadows. An army of the departed follows your command, forging a path where your will becomes law, and you will never require the assistance of another. Jin-Woo was bewildered by the description. An army of the departed? Wait, what is this? This is not the specialization I anticipated. He reviewed the details of his equipment, seeking some clarification. Item: Night Killer. Item class: B-type dagger. Enhancement: plus 75 attack. Description: a dagger forged with a resilient, pointed blade capable of effectively penetrating armor. The serrated edge ensures a secure grip, preventing slippage even against fortified surfaces. Special effect: Night Slayer. When used against heavily armored opponents, inflicts 25% bonus damage. Item, recycles Fong. Item class, C-type dagger. Enhancement, plus 25 attack. Description, a dagger crafted from recycles Fong. Special effects, paralyzing strikes, chance to temporarily hinder an opponent's movement, and bleeding strikes, inflicts damage over time. The fire of ambition for power blazed within Tim, so fiercely that it could awaken wandering spirits in the Valley of Death. That power, according to the whispers of the shadows, could summon an army of the undead, beings who would obey his every command, carving a path where his will would be law. And then, he would never again need the help of another army of lost souls await, Tim murmured, his voice echoing in the vast space. Or what is this? This isn't my job. Tim stared, bewildered, at the words that appeared before him. Your job is necromancer. The word necromancer emerged as a cruel twist, an injustice he couldn't accept. Necromancer? What is that supposed to mean? He couldn't believe his eyes. He had never once touched the intelligence stat before. I haven't even touched the intelligence stat even once. He felt like an invisible hand was mocking him. Subclass, Dark Magic Necromancer. The words reappeared as a stark confirmation. A grim magician and the undead army that follows. Tim gritted his teeth in anger. He had been a fighter from the moment he registered as an E-rank hunter. From beginning to end, he had only used swords and daggers. The skills he learned were all akin to those of an assassin. Then why choose this profession for me? He asked, his voice laced with disappointment and confusion. He reviewed his skills. The passive skill, Mysterious Smile, was at max level, Perseverance was at level 1, and Advanced Dagger Proficiency was at level 1. His active skills included Sprint at level 2, Bloodlust at level 1, Vital Strike at level 2, Dagger Throw at level 1, and Stealth at level 1. All of these were the skills of a warrior, an assassin. But alongside those, new class skills had appeared: Shadow Extraction at level 1 and Shadow Save at level 1. If I had to choose the advantages of a necromancer, Tim mused, it would probably be the ability to create your own army, like the system said. However, those undead armies were like slaves. They couldn't become stronger. He feared that the power stats he had so painstakingly cultivated would become useless. Strength 132, Vitality 91, Agility 111, Intelligence 7093. An alarm chimed. Will you accept your job? Accept or refuse? Do I have a choice? Tim thought to himself. If I refuse, I could still get a different job. He felt confused, unsure of what to decide. Will you accept your job? The notification sounded again. I refuse. Necromancer is a hidden class, Tim stated, his voice filled with resolve. Are you sure you wish to refuse? The system asked, as if giving him a final chance to reconsider. A hidden class, a hunter who can create powerful shields, a hunter who can provide buffs to allies, even though they aren't a healer. He thought of hunters with special abilities like the White Tiger, the master of the White Tiger Guild, an S-rank hunter who was rumored to be able to transform into a monster. All hunters with those kinds of special abilities were hired by major guilds and had considerable power. Does a hidden class mean a unique ability, like the ones those hunters have? Tim wondered. He felt he didn't need to overthink it too deeply. What if I could experience being a necromancer firsthand? He suddenly thought of mages, those who had the ability to use powers similar to that of a necromancer. It's as if someone wanted to show me a sample of the skill. He didn't know who created this system, but he found it quite interesting. I have combat abilities, while those mages don't. If a mage had both close combat abilities and the ability to create his own army, then that person could solo clear B rank or even higher dungeons. In this game, your ability depends on your skill level and stats, he deduced. So that means the summoned ones can also become stronger. This isn't solo leveling anymore, he murmured. Your job has been chosen, the system announced. Based on the points you obtained, you will have a chance to promote to a higher class. You have exceeded the expected playtime, the system continued. Points will be added because you didn't use the half-stone. Points will be added because your final health was above 50%. Points will be added because all enemies have been defeated. Your total points have exceeded the limit, the system announced. Tim gasped. You will be promoted from Necromancer to Shadow Lord. Shadow Lord? Tim exclaimed. An instant promotion? You have learned a job-exclusive skill. You have received bonus stats. You have received the title The One Who Overcame Adversity. An instant promotion. Tim was astonished. He figured he had earned this right to promote through the accumulated points. Knight to Swordmaster, Mage to Grand Mage, Necromancer to Shadow Lord. Tim recounted the paths of promotion. If I didn't receive those bonus points, I probably would have had to stay as a Necromancer for a while. He suddenly heard a scream of pain. Shadow extraction can be used on this target, the system announced. Of course, this is a Necromancer ability. Shadow extraction, it must be a skill used to turn corpses into summonable beings, Tim realized. If the Necromancer is a commander-type job, then choose the command phrase for shadow extraction. Command phrase? Tim wondered. Arise. Tim shouted. A black light enveloped the corpses of the enemies he had just defeated. Ha! This skill is pretty cool, he exclaimed. Shadow extraction level 1, a job-specific skill. No mana required. A shadow soldier is created from a body without life by taking its energy. The chance of failure increases the higher the target's stats are and the more time has passed since the target's demise. The number of shadows you can extract is 30, the system indicated. Shadow Save skill. Shadow Save level 1, a job-specific skill. No mana required. You absorb the created shadow soldiers and save them. The saved soldiers can be summoned and reabsorbed whenever the animator desires. Shadows Save 0/20. So that means I can turn all those that have passed away into summonable beings? Tim was excited. Shadow Infantry level 1. Shadow Magician level 1. 27 Elite Infantry and 3 Agakins. I can create up to 30 shadow soldiers, but I can only save 20 of them. You have reached the shadow extraction limit, the system announced. The number of shadows that can be extracted is 30/30ths. What if I could extract the shadow of an S-rank or A-rank hunter? Tim wondered. Your arsenal now contains 2 A-rank beings or beings with strong skills. Shadow extraction can be used on this target, the system announced. If you want to use shadow extraction again, you must send 1 or more shadow soldiers to the world of nothingness through cancellation. Cancel summon? Tim wondered. I'll have to remove the 11 weakest ones. Sorry, even though I called you, Tim said sadly. Cancel summon on 11 infantry units. You cannot summon shadow soldiers that have been sent to nothingness, the system notified. Tim looked at the corpse of the blood-red commander Egress. What if I get this guy as a subordinate? Arise. You failed to extract the shadow, the system announced. You still have 2 chances. It's not easy, Tim murmured. The extraction rate depends on the target's stats and the time since its demise. This guy is a boss monster and it's been over 4 hours since his death, so of course it will be difficult. Shadow extraction level 1, a job-specific skill. No mana required. A shadow soldier is created from a body without life by taking its energy. The chance of failure increases the higher the target's stats are and the more time has passed since the target's demise. The number of shadows that can be extracted is 19/30ths. 2 chances left. You failed to extract the shadow. You still have 1 chance left, the system said. Halt. Tim commanded the shadows around him. Instead of protecting the place of someone who is gone, try protecting me, the one who is standing in front of you. Arise. Blood-red Egress, no. Tim paused. That name is too edgy, just call him Egress. You have upgraded the shadow, the system announced. The shadow's level will be 7, higher than its class. A knight can be named. You are now Egress, Egress level 7, knight. You have successfully extracted the shadow. Status, name, Tim, level 51. Job Shadow Lord, fatigue. Title, Wolfslayer, additional 1 HP, 135 MP, 1022, Strength 132, Vitality 91, Agility 111, Intelligence 7093, Physical Damage Reduction 46%, Points remaining 10 skills. Tim reviewed his skills. The passive skill Mysterious Smile, at max level, Perseverance, at level 1, Advanced Dagger Proficiency, at level 1. His active skills included Sprint, at level 2, Bloodlust, at level 1, Vital Strike, at level 2, Dagger Throw, at level 1, and Stealth at level 1. The morning sun struggled to pierce through the curtains, casting long shadows across the room. A gentle voice broke through the quiet. Hello? A groan escaped from beneath the covers. Huh, are you still sleeping? Yeah, a tired voice replied. I'm a bit too drowsy to check the time. What time is it? The first voice pressed. 20 after 8, came the reply. What? The voice exclaimed in disbelief. Do you remember that you have to go to school today? A pause. By when do I have to get there? You won't be late, so don't worry, the voice assured. As expected of my brother, the sleepy voice said with a hint of pride. Call me before you arrive. The first voice chuckled softly. Maybe I should dress better, he mused to himself. I'm going to see my sister's teacher after all. A short while later, he stood before a bank teller. Number 280. How may I help you? I would like a new debit card and to update my bank book, he requested. All right, the teller replied, efficiently starting the process. The young man watched as the machine printed the updated balance. 1,482.92 million. 1.4 billion. His own reflection stared back at him from the display. He looks young. So how, the teller thought, glancing at him again. Oh, could you tell me what your job is? She asked, curiosity getting the better of her. I'm a hunter, he replied matter-of-factly. People say that hunters make quite a bit of money, another teller whispered to a coworker. I guess his rank is pretty high, they speculated. Ah, our bank has recently released a new product for VIP customers, the first teller said with a bright smile. It's been getting positive reactions from our customers. Do you want to try it out? The raid with Jin-Ho is making a lot of money, the young man thought, but he politely declined. No, I'm fine. As he was about to leave, the teller called out to him, Son, are you really Sung Jin-Woo? What? Is it strange? He responded, a little bewildered. Well, so people can change this much? She wondered aloud. I'm meeting my sister's teacher. Do you want me to come in a tracksuit and slippers? He retorted, a hint of playfulness in his voice. Outside the bank, he could hear a murmur of voices. Wow, who's that? Someone said. Wow, he's so handsome, another voice exclaimed. Isn't that Jenna with him? A third voice asked. Hello, Jin-Woo said, as he approached a small group. Looks like he's her brother, one of the girls commented. Yes, hello, Jin-Woo greeted them with a friendly smile. Wow, you are pretty popular, Jenna said, slightly teasing him. Who's that? A graduate? Asked another girl. I wouldn't forget a student as eye-catching as him, replied a teacher. Is he a new professor? That's right, you don't have a girlfriend, no? A student chimed in. What were you doing last night that kept you out so late? Jenna asked, playfully nudging him. Should I introduce you to a cute student? A girl said, giggling. Don't make fun of me, Jin-Woo replied, a little embarrassed. You work, Jenna said, giving him a knowing look. I'm very sorry, consultation room, a woman said, approaching the group. Gino's brother. Nice to meet you. I'm her teacher. I didn't know Gina had such a cool brother, the teacher said, smiling warmly. Although I graduated from the school, it's my first time seeing this teacher, Jin-Woo thought. Please take a seat. The teacher invited him into her office. Thank you. You don't have to worry, since Gina has a good personality and a kind disposition. She's a model student, so I don't have to worry that much either, the teacher said reassuringly. Do you know that Jenna is aiming for a medical college? Yes, Jin-Woo replied. Her marks are good and her academic record is also good, so I think she can make it. But don't put too much pressure on her, the teacher cautioned. Okay, I heard that you were working as a hunter. Perhaps if Gina was determined to have abilities, would you make her do hunter work? No, as expected, Jin-Woo replied. The reason I'm asking these things is because recently there is a student that is trying to quit school after being determined to have awakened. And now, this student isn't even attending school anymore. If this keeps going, the school will have no choice but to take measures. Even if one becomes a hunter, isn't it good to get graduation papers? Since I don't know much about hunters, I have to ask about these things, the teacher said, clearly concerned. What rank did that student receive? Jin-Woo asked. I heard that it's the lowest rank, E rank. This student will be in a precarious situation, Jin-Woo thought, a worried look crossing his face. If you're fine with it, I want to ask you a favor. That student happens to be Gino's friend. Could you talk to her so that she is at least willing to graduate? Gino's friend? Yes, Jin-Woo replied. She's a female student called Han Song-I. Jin-Woo froze. Miss, what did you say her name was? Han Song-I. Do you know her? Korea is small after all, she continued, as expected. It was you, mister. Why are you here? Is a kid even allowed to do raids? A gruff voice questioned, cutting through the otherwise still morning air. If an underage kid is awakened, then there's no law banning them from raids, a more measured voice responded, a hint of amusement coloring the tone. You're a high schooler, right? Do you have any raid experience? The gruff voice continued, clearly not convinced. Earache, I assume. What happened? A softer, slightly hesitant voice replied. The hunter my teacher wanted to introduce me to was you, mister. Mister, are you friends with her? the voice asked, adding another layer of confusion to the situation. A slightly bewildered voice said, isn't that Jenna? Another voice chimed in, are you perhaps Jenna's brother? I even visited the hospital with her once, but I didn't see your face, said the first voice, revealing that there was some sort of shared history between them. If you're Jenna's brother, I can see why you're acquainted with my teacher, said the timid voice, still slightly unsure of the situation. We're not really acquaintances, a more firm voice interjected. I don't know what my teacher said to you, but I don't plan on returning to school. I don't plan to quit being a hunter either, the voice added with a note of defiance. You're an E-rank, right? The firm voice said with a hint of challenge. Normal attacks will not work on monsters. You'll need a weapon imbued with magic. If you do end up purchasing a weapon, it'll wear out quickly and you are forced to purchase another. It's not a profitable business, so do you plan on fighting with your bare fists? The voice concluded, adding a touch of sarcasm. You aren't dreaming of becoming a full-fledged hunter just because you made some money from our 18th raid? A burst of defiance filled the air. Enough with the lecture. Mr. is also an E-rank, the timid voice exclaimed, pushing back with unexpected strength. A small chuckle could be heard. Oh, she's quite persistent, said the firm voice, clearly amused. Well, I was the same, the firm voice continued, softening slightly. Don't worry, I wasn't planning on convincing you to quit, huh? It's hard to accept the reality until you face the cold and cruel world with your own eyes. The tone shifted, gaining a hint of purpose. Then why are you here? To turn you into a great hunter, the firm voice stated with conviction. A change in the surroundings brought the focus elsewhere. The atmosphere sure is different, said the firm voice. I ended up visiting South Korea earlier than I expected. A familiar voice chimed in. You're here? Oh, Tilda, look who it is. Long time no see, another voice added. What business does the Korean Hunter Guild have with you and your shall have here? It's only natural that a hunter from the monitoring division is here to receive and observe the S-rank hunters arriving in Korea, a slightly mocking voice responded. Monitoring division, you still working as that old geezer Chairman Go Gun's right arm? Asked the familiar voice. If it was me, I would have severed his left arm, made sure he couldn't do anything without his right arm, and taken over everything. How long do you plan on staying? The mocking voice inquired. I don't plan on staying in Korea for too long. I'll return after I finish some business, the firm voice responded. Don't worry. The business, the man who has abandoned his homeland and moved to the United States, has it got to do with E-rank hunter Sung Jin-Woo and E-rank hunter Eugene Ho? As expected from a member of the monitoring division, asking something he already knows about, the firm voice replied, clearly unimpressed. Will you try to stop me? Are you stopping me? Asked the mocking voice. I'm just devoted to my job, the mocking voice replied innocently. I'm out of breath now that I'm at the airport. You're right, my chest feels heavy. I like you, the firm voice said, throwing another curveball. How about you join the scavenger guild? We can treat you better than that old geezer. S-rank hunter Wen Dong-soo, his brother Guangdong Sak has been under suspicion of eliminating many hunters, as if he was cutting a lizard's tail. The firm voice continued, with a hint of darkness. The reason we couldn't start a proper investigation was due to his brother. They are truly brothers bound by blood. Even their lack of sentiment after cruel eliminations is the same despicable trash, the firm voice said, full of disdain. Another group approached, cutting through the tension. It has been a while, long time no see, Chief said a new voice. I'm the chief of the 2nd Department of Management, and with me is Hyun Ji-chol, an assistant from the same department. He introduced himself and his partner. You're the student from before, the chief said, nodding toward the timid voice. Hello, E-rank, he added with a hint of mockery. It should be nothing, no, he continued. Since there's also the case of Hunter Sung Jin-Woo, I shouldn't jump to conclusions. I was surprised when I received a call from Hunter Sung Jin-Woo, who wanted to experience a new recruit's training session, he explained. He must be interested in the White Tiger Guild, right? He added, looking around. Since it was a request from none other than Hunter Sung Jin-Woo, I've accepted it without hesitation. Experiencing a new recruit's training session. This is good, the chief said, clearly pleased with the situation. If he gains interest after watching White Tiger's excellent training system, I've already explained it to the other hunters, so there's no need to worry. Since this is an area with a high concentration of gates, not many people live here anymore. 80% of the households have already left, he explained further, adding, they say it's been decided to shut down certain areas completely. A C-rank gate, perfect for a field trip, has opened here just in time, he declared, clearly ready to start. It's already past 9 o'clock. Let's stop the chatter and get started. We are not here for a picnic. Who is he? Whispered the timid voice as a new figure approached. He's our new A-rank recruit, but he seemed offended after hearing that. I have accepted your request, saying that a dungeon isn't a place for fooling around, said Chief and A-rank. His name is Kim Chul, and as you can see, he's a tank. This attack force is composed of 1 A-rank, 7 B ranks, and 4 C ranks, for a total of 12 people. It may seem like an overkill with the amount of A-rank and B ranks participating in a C-rank gate, but they are still just new recruits. They must first gain some dungeon experience. But to bring in A-rank and 7 B ranks, if the raid is too easy, the effects might diminish, said the assistant, sounding concerned. No, rather, she might realize the difference between herself and other hunters, the chief replied, with a hint of calculation. When do we enter? Asked the gruff voice, clearly impatient to start. Realize how helpless E-rank hunters are in dungeons. Since the raid will become too easy if Hunter Sung Jin-Woo participates, please just watch from the sidelines, Chief and said. Mister, aren't you coming? Asked the timid voice. After you. The air around the gate suddenly shifted. A strange sensation filled the air. What is this sensation? Asked Chief and, startled. Chief, the gate. No way. The dimension is fluctuating like waves, said the assistant. Something is wrong. The sensation from the gate is completely different from before. What is this ominous sensation? Chief and exclaimed, a hint of panic creeping into his voice. It's dangerous. I have to quickly get out of. Chief and, call the main attack force immediately, he shouted. Hunter Sung Jin-Woo, Chief. What should we do about this? Asked the assistant, fear visible in his eyes. Hunter Sung Jin-Woo with 15 others being sucked into the gate? This isn't a problem that can be solved just by calling the main attack force. Chief and exclaimed. I must directly call the master. It's a red gate. How does a red gate appear from a C-rank gate? If that's true, I'll have to come check it out myself. White Tiger Guild Master, S-rank Baquenho, a new voice declared, adding a dramatic twist to the already chaotic situation. Nice car, a sardonic voice commented. It's still not appropriate enough for a TS-ordered S-rank hunter. A sigh followed the statement. Well, at this speed, it'll be faster for me to run, the voice added, dripping with impatience. Anyway, how did my brother's funeral turn out? The voice asked, a hint of sadness barely masking the sarcasm. We couldn't retrieve his body, and the funeral was done privately, a more subdued voice replied. Would you like to visit the memorial tree? The subdued voice continued. I have no interest in the departed, the first voice stated flatly. I'm only interested in my brother's scraps. Then where do you wish to go? The second voice asked, trying to keep up with the abrupt changes in tone. The answer is obviously a dungeon, the first voice declared. I'll find him in a dungeon. Lousy hunters are sure to be found in dungeons. How do you plan on finding them with the countless number of gates in Korea? The second voice inquired, a sense of futility creeping in. That's not a problem in the 21st century, the first voice replied, with an air of confidence. E-rank Sung Jin-Woo, it looks like he just entered a dungeon. The rules inside a dungeon and out in this world are different. You must already know, whether I deal with him or not is none of your concern. Woo Jin-Chul, yes, the second voice acknowledged. Where is this? This doesn't look like a dungeon. A voice filled with confusion exclaimed, breaking the silence. The gate has disappeared as well, another voice added, with growing concern. I don't feel anything suspicious, a third voice chimed in. Was it a gate to simply transfer us into this world? Is there something wrong with us? Yet another voice asked, a sense of unease palpable in the air. Kaya, what? An urgent voice exclaimed. 15. This is it. It's an ambush by the them. It's ourselves, another voice countered, correcting him sharply. So, at that distance I can't sense them. Those who haven't met them have used the term ourselves, but those who have faced them in battle have used a different term. Unlike a beautiful term like elf, they derived a different term from watching them mercilessly hunt down hunters, a voice explained, adding a chilling undertone to the situation. It's shut off tight. This is troubling, another voice said, the tension rising. Wasn't this a C-rank gate? You're correct, sir, a subordinate voice replied. Did you call the Korean Hunter Guild? A voice demanded, impatience evident. Yes, but they are playing dumb and claiming it was definitely a C-rank gate. Those bastards, the voice continued, spitting out the last word. Red gates only appear in higher-ranked gates, a voice said, sounding incredulous. They are saying the magical energy coming from a different world beyond this gate is just a C rank? There must have been an error. The gate in front of me is at least B rank. It might be A rank or higher if we are unlucky. Should we measure the gate with our own magical energy sensor? The subordinate voice asked tentatively. Magical energy will stop flowing out after the gate has turned red, so it'll be pointless. At this current state, there's no way to figure out the ranking, the leader's voice responded. How many of our members have entered? 12 people, sir, the subordinate voice responded. And how many of them are highly ranked hunters? The leader's voice asked with a note of worry. There's an A-rank hunter Kim Chul, designated as the captain, and 7 B-rank hunters, the subordinate voice replied. 1 A-rank and 7 B-rank. Will the new recruits be fine? The leader voiced his concerns. The gate must be either B or A rank. I'll exclude the probability of S rank that has put the entire country in a state of emergency. If it's a B rank, it'll at least require 3 A rank hunters. But if it's an A rank, it'll at least require 1 S rank or 10 A rank hunters. Therefore, if the gate's rank is A, we should consider all of them as good as gone. If they are lucky, maybe 2 or 3 of the B rank hunters will return alive. In fact, there are 2 other people inside that are not part of our guild, the subordinate voice added, creating more confusion. And who are they? The leader asked, sounding exasperated. One's a hunter that I've laid my eyes on recently, a hunter that piqued Chief An's interest. That's right, the subordinate voice confirmed. And the ranking of that hunter, A? Or is it B? Then there's an S-rank hunter inside? The leader inquired, trying to make sense of the situation. No, he's an E-rank, the subordinate voice revealed, shocking everyone present. There is a sharp one here. They managed to single out the 2 weakest hunters in the attack force. If this was 2 months ago, the arrow would have been aimed towards me, the leader thought, with a sense of disbelief. A sinister voice echoed in the distance. I'll deal with you with my own hands. I don't think they're welcoming us, a voice said, with growing concern. I'm not sure how many of you guys have understood the situation yet, but we are inside a red gate. We cannot return until all of us are gone, or the dungeon opens a red gate itself. A voice explained, the chilling truth finally sinking in. Mister, what is a red gate? A timid voice asked, revealing their inexperience. It's a special gate that connects us to another world. Once we step our foot inside, the gate closes off completely, and nobody else can come and help. It's a place that cannot escalate till the boss is defeated, or the unbuy-in opens on its own. In other words, we are stranded, the voice explained, adding a somber note to the already tense atmosphere. A red gate? A voice whispered, the weight of the words heavy in the air. Mister, what is a red gate? A timid voice asked, the fear evident in their tone. It's a special gate that connects us to another world. Once we step our foot inside, the gate closes off completely, and nobody else can come and help, a firm voice explained. It's a place we cannot escape until the boss is defeated, or the dungeon opens on its own. In other words, we are stranded. A moment of silence followed, broken by the same firm voice, now tinged with a hint of resolve. I'll introduce myself once again. I am the A-rank hunter Kim Chul, but I will not be premature and claim that all of you will be able to return back alive. We must wait countless months for the dungeon to open, and there's no guarantee that we'll survive. That's why I will form a separate team to clear the dungeon with me. If we stay here, we'll either suffer from the cold or get ambushed. A pause. Even if no one wants to clear the dungeon with me, I will go alone. Who wishes to join me? Let's go together, a confident voice responded, cutting through the uncertainty. I'll go as well, another voice added quickly, seeking strength in numbers. They will have a higher chance of survival by sticking with an A-rank hunter, Kim Chul thought, his eyes scanning the remaining group. Not you, and you don't. You as well, don't you, he said, singling out individuals with a dismissive tone. 1 day spent in a red gate is only an hour outside, he continued, his voice filled with a sense of urgency. In the worst situation, countless months can pass before the boss is defeated, or the dungeon is opened. In such a situation, I cannot bring any dead weight with me, he explained, his words blunt and unforgiving. We are dead weight, he added, pointing directly at those he had just rejected. Don't be so disappointed. If you guys manage to survive until we take down the boss, you can also return safely, he said, attempting to soften the blow, but his tone remained detached. But still, excuse me, it's okay to switch sides for me, right? A hesitant voice asked from the sidelines. As you wish, Kim Chul replied, clearly unfazed by the unexpected move. Switching sides instead of sticking with the A rank, is it sympathy? Kim Chul wondered. Who is this woman? Since there's a vacant spot now, I'll take one more person over from that side, a new voice declared, taking the spotlight. And me? I'll go. Kim Chul, that person, the voice continued, pointing directly at a specific individual. He didn't notice the arrows coming. You're not an E-rank, right? The voice asked, looking directly at the individual. To gain Hunter Sung Jin-Woo's trust, I kept this as a secret, but I'm sure he's someone who has reawakened, the individual replied, confirming their suspicions. Are you sure it's not just a speculation? The first voice asked, doubtful. I wasn't able to get a definite answer. Well, it is, but then, the only person I can put my faith in is Kim Chul. If the master met Hunter Sung Jin-Woo himself, he would have understood it. Kim Chul shouldn't have any problems, the voice said confidently. Chief of the First Department of Management to Sunshin, Hunter Kim Chul's training results are very impressive. He won't fall behind the current White Tiger Guild's main attack force members in a contest of strength. Thank goodness Kim Chul is an A-rank. He's not someone that can be simply ignored even among the highly ranked hunters. With that person as the raid captain, he could command the B-rank hunters well enough to clear the dungeon. Kim Chul thought, a sense of pride swelling up within him. From the rumors that were whispered, an E-rank hunter with a possibility of being reawakened, that's what you were saying, right? Our Kim Chul is far superior compared to such a hunter with no foundation. We'll see who's right when they get out. Huh? What happened here? A new voice asked, confusion evident. I definitely heard it was a C-rank gate. Did it turn out to be an A-rank gate? Why is the precious master of the White Tiger Guild here? Huang Dong-tsu. That person is Huang. Huang Dong-tsu. Another voice said, recognizing the newcomer. Scavenger Guild's S-rank hunter, Huang Dong-tsu. The voice confirmed. Long time no see, Baek Hyun-ho. A powerful voice exclaimed. Why are you in Korea? I stopped by to manage some business, but I didn't expect to see you here. Korea sure is small, Baek Hyun-ho replied. Just answer the question. Why is a man that should be in the United States back in Korea and doing business in the White Tiger Guild's area? White Tiger Guild's area? Huang Dong-tsu questioned, with a hint of menace in his tone. I'd like to ask something as well. Did that lousy hunter enter your White Tiger Guild? What were you thinking by recruiting him? I'm talking about that E-rank kid. E-rank Sung Jin-Woo, who has entered the gate. Sung Jin-Woo? How does Huang Dong-tsu know him? Baek Hyun-ho wondered, a mix of surprise and concern evident on his face. What is this? Is it a red gate? Then let me ask you a question as well, Huang Dong-tsu continued, completely ignoring the previous question. How are you guys sound for any recruits? The first lesson we've been taught is that anything can happen inside the dungeon. Especially Hunter Kim Chul has received special coaching. He's destined to join the White Tiger's main attack force. We will follow the path, a voice declared with utmost confidence. Then we'll enter the forest. I wish you luck. Same here, Baek Hyun-ho replied, dismissing Huang Dong-tsu. So, are you not going to answer my question? Huang Dong-tsu asked, his tone filled with irritation. Well, this man is at least an A-rank. No, maybe an S-rank, Baek Hyun-ho thought, his eyes fixed on the departing Kim Chul. Idiots, Huang Dong-tsu murmured with disdain. Huh? Look over there, that's TSK. Huang Dong-tsu continued, watching Kim Chul and his group disappear into the forest. They should have just patiently waited here. The forest is ice bear territory. Because of one inexperienced E-rank, all those innocent people are about to. Do you think that E-rank ever got some proper coaching? There's way too much. Just an E-rank, Huang Dong-tsu sneered. Wait, another voice exclaimed, their tone shifting. That team has few C-ranks and even a B-rank. Why did I assume he was their leader? Whatever, Huang Dong-tsu replied dismissively. They'll all meet their end soon. We'll be just by ourselves. Prepare for battle. I've come all the way over here and am stuck in a red gate. Why did I assume he was their leader? Whatever, they'll all meet their end soon. We'll be just by ourselves. Huang Dong-tsu muttered, his voice a mix of arrogance and disinterest. A few moments later, a different scene unfolded within the forest. As expected from the captain, an A-rank hunter truly is different compared to the rest, a voice said, filled with admiration. He took down all these ice bears almost by himself. We are at a level where we can deal with multiple ice bears, another voice added, equally impressed. Excluding the organs, let's cut out the meat. We should secure the food supply. We can survive a few days with these, Kim Chul said, his voice authoritative. The signs are looking good right from the get-go, a voice offered optimistically. What nonsense, we cannot relax until we are able to get out of the forest, Kim Chul retorted, his tone sharp. We are able to deal with them because of me. By this point, the others must have become the best meal, he thought with a touch of disdain. Why, yes. A voice replied hesitantly. Wait, we cannot go any further, a voice interjected, suddenly concerned. Why? Can't you see? A voice questioned. The area is covered with ice bear territory markings. This entire forest is ice bear territory. We must turn back now before the monsters arrive, the voice explained. So you're saying this area is full of ice bears? Kim Chul asked, his voice laced with sarcasm. What? Did I say something wrong? The voice replied, confused. Yes, Kim Chul stated flatly. So, we should turn back? The voice asked again. That's why we are moving into the forest, Kim Chul explained. Huh? The voice responded, completely bewildered. Did you not hear me? If this is an ice bear territory, we only have to worry about bears while in the forest. Ice bears are more reasonable than ourselves, Kim Chul continued, his tone dripping with condescension. Ah, if there are a lot of ice bears in the area, that would mean there are no stronger predators here. Therefore, we won't encounter any stronger monsters, a voice exclaimed, finally understanding Kim Chul's logic. Why did I not think of that? Another voice mumbled, frustrated at their lack of foresight. Anyways, I'm too cold with that clothing inventory, Kim Chul declared. Everyone, put these on, or EX equipped. Use quest. It'll be troubling if you all perish from the cold before we face any monsters. He paused, then added, spatial magic. Suddenly, fur coats materialized in the air, dropping into everyone's hands. Item, X name, warm fur coat, item class, non-type junk. Becomes extremely warm after being worn. Price, 10 gold. Isn't spatial magic limited to only 1 or 2 items? A voice whispered, bewildered. To be able to summon so many, just what is he? Mister, who are you really? Another voice exclaimed, their curiosity piqued. Since I'm the one who brought you here, it's my responsibility to protect you. However, don't ask me anything. The same applies to all of you. Don't ask me any questions, and don't demand anything from me, Kim Chul warned. What is that? A voice suddenly asked, their tone filled with alarm. I have a giant ice bear. Another voice responded, their fear palpable. What was it about having to only worry about ice bears? A voice questioned sarcastically. This is a highly ranked monster. Entering the forest was definitely the wrong decision. Another voice exclaimed, their tone filled with regret. I'll distract it while you all find an opening, Kim Chul declared, a hint of determination in his voice. And Kaya, what are you doing? I'll say this clearly, that I'll be hunting monsters just by myself, Kaya replied, a defiant tone in their voice. No matter how strong you are, that's still a highly ranked monster, a voice exclaimed, incredulous. I can't waste the experience that's standing right in front of me, Kaya responded with resolve. Suddenly, a change appeared in the air, a notification appearing before Kaya. Title change. Title, the one who overcame adversity, a title given to those who overcame adversity heroically. Your stats increase proportionally to your missing health. 1% stat increase every 1% HP missing. Title, Wolf Slayer, a title given to a hunter proficient in fights against wolves. 40% increased stats against beast-type monsters. If I add the title's effect to my current level, just with my bare hands, Kaya said, preparing for action. With a swift and powerful movement, Kaya struck out at the monstrous ice bear, the beast recoiling from the sheer force of the blow. I dispatched it in a single hit, Kaya thought, a sense of satisfaction washing over them. Just as I thought, since the standard is higher, the experience gain is different. You leveled up. Why? You? Just who are you? A voice asked in astonishment. What kind of business do you have with Hunter Sung Jin-Woo to come all the way to a dungeon entrance? A new voice demanded. None of your business. It's just entertainment. Whatever your objective may be, since this is a red gate, there's nothing else we can do, Kim Chul explained. Instead of a dungeon, it could be a desert over 50 degrees Celsius, a jungle filled with poisonous vipers and insects, or an extremely cold snow area that could give you severe frostbite. They have a higher chance of perishing than returning back alive. I would also like to see what's beyond here. I get to witness something so rare while just passing by, the new voice said, sounding amused. But this is quite troublesome. I can't wait here until the dungeon opens. Sung Jin-Woo got lucky. If it's a red gate, even Huang Dong-Su can't do anything about it. He'll be truly lucky. The bear meat is a bit tough, but it's quite tasty. Would you like some more? The voice offered, their tone shifting from amusement to polite curiosity. Ah, thank you, a voice responded gratefully. Go Niang, a C-rank martial artist. Park Hee-jin, a B-rank. Mei-jin K, and a C-rank tank, Ah Young. Kim Chul stated, listing off the members of his small group. Does Jenna really do nothing but study at home? They say she puts up dictionaries on the wall instead of wallpapers to memorize words while sleeping. He continued thinking to himself, she's just like you guys. When she gets home, she likes to play, eat, and sleep at home. She's a sleepyhead who loves fried chicken. Are you lies? Kim Chul questioned. And she's still able to get those grades. Even I can't believe it, Kim Chul said, a note of disbelief coloring his voice. When we were younger, we used to visit the arcade together, he recalled, a hint of nostalgia washing over him. Miss Hunter Park Jin, hasn't the number of ice bear ambushes been decreasing? A voice inquired. That's because our captain has taken care of them, another voice responded, brimming with confidence. Well, he did eliminate a giant ice bear with his bare hands, a voice added, filled with admiration. Where are you going? A voice suddenly asked. Since I ate, I should go exercise, a new voice replied, clearly unbothered. Exercising while inside a gate? A voice asked with a touch of disbelief. If I don't, there will be a penalty. He sure is strange. Phew dia, how bothersome. I can't leave behind the attack force and end up in the penalty zone, the voice declared, their logic oddly specific. Well then, since I warmed up, it's time to go hunting, the voice added, a sense of purpose filling their tone. Suddenly, a new scene flashed before them. The numbers are roughly the same. Come out. A powerful voice exclaimed. You guys know it's your first mission, right? Another voice inquired, adding a note of seriousness to the situation. Magicians with powerful firepower, infantry with rapid regulation. A voice marveled, a hint of surprise coloring their tone. The strength of shadow soldiers is beyond my expectation. This unbelievable regeneration is almost comparable to immortality. It does consume a massive amount of mana, though, the voice concluded, a note of caution in their tone. Suddenly, a new presence emerged. The leader appears, a voice stated, a sense of foreboding settling over the scene. Shadow soldiers are getting smashed in an instant, and are no match, a voice exclaimed, the tone laced with alarm. Shadow soldiers can no longer regenerate due to a lack of mana, egress. A new scene flashed, the focus shifting to another battle. I would have stood no chance if Igris used his sword back then at my current level, a voice admitted, their tone filled with a mix of respect and trepidation. We are at an equal footing now. No, is he above me? The voice questioned, a hint of uncertainty creeping into their words. A new notification flashed before them. Name, Sung Jin-Woo, level 52. You've done well, the voice continued, their tone softening slightly. Time to turn him into my shadow soldier as well. Arise. A surge of dark energy enveloped Sung Jin-Woo's body, the system announcing, you have successfully extracted the shadow. Shadow Monster LV1, Shadow Monster LV1, Shadow Monster LV1, the system stated, confirming the successful extraction. Good. How long has it been? A voice asked, breaking the silence. About 3 hours. It's already been 3 days inside. Another voice responded, a sense of disbelief coloring their tone. I wonder how many are still alive. You should throw away any hope of a normal environment past the red gate. Skin burning under the harsh sunlight, being pestered endlessly by poisonous bugs, or skin rotting due to the severe cold. As such, the weak will perish first, the voice explained. Oh God, even if they adapt to the environment, they must secure food next. They could attempt to feed off of the monster's corpses, but the gate is too high-leveled for lower-tier hunters. C-rank or lower hunters must all be gone by now. Then Sung Jin-Woo must also be gone. Did I just end up wasting my time in vain? No, wait. You're saying that Sung Jin-Woo isn't part of the White Tiger Guild, then how did he end up there? A voice exclaimed, their tone laced with surprise. He's my old acquaintance. He asked if he could take part in a C-rank raid, and I reluctantly introduced him here, another voice confessed. Chief and, same minute is covering for Hunter Sung Jin-Woo. Does that mean exposing him is problematic? A voice asked, their tone filled with suspicion. Not to mention that S-rank Wang Dong-Su from overseas also knows about this E-rank's existence. Then, there's nothing else I can do. Is what you thought I'd say, the voice said with a wry chuckle. For a long time, I've been talented in finding interesting situations, and I can feel something fishy here. Tell me the truth. What are you hiding? Huang Dong-su, take your hand off my employee, a new voice demanded, their tone sharp and filled with authority. Are you ordering me? Someone who's playing leader in a backyard. Huang Dong-su responded mockingly. What if and no? If this continues, S ranks will end up facing each other. Haha. Another scene flashed, the focus shifting to a group in dire straits. No way. I, Kim Chul, have failed. A voice exclaimed, desperation coloring their tone. There's no way. Save me. I am someone who will be one of the White Tigers elite. I even received special coaching to become an elite captain, but I've failed. I can't accept this. If only I had food, lack of food shouldn't be my fault. No, it's my responsibility as the captain, right? Kim Chul continued, his thoughts spiraling into chaos. I am the captain, Captain Heya Hayaki. A new scene appeared, the focus shifting again. Hayaki, right after Yeti Sea Captain. A voice declared with a mix of admiration and apprehension. Magician with powerful firepower, infantry with rapid regulation. The strength of the Shadow Soldiers is beyond my expectations. This unbelievable regeneration is almost comparable to immortality. It consumes massive amount of mana though. A voice mused, recapping the previous fight. The leader appears. Shadow Soldiers are getting smashed in an instant and are no match. Shadow Soldiers can no longer regenerate due to a lack of mana. Egress. The voice stated with growing concern. The battle continued to rage, the Shadow Soldiers facing seemingly insurmountable odds. I would have stood no chance if Igris used his sword. Back then at my current level, we are at equal footing now. No. Is he above me? Name. Sung Jin-Woo, level 52. You've done well, the voice declared, clearly impressed. Time to turn him into my Shadow Soldier as well. Arise. You have successfully extracted the Shadow. Shadow Monster LV1. Shadow Monster LV1. Shadow Monster LV1. The system announced, confirming the success. Good. How long has it been? About 3 hours. It's already been 3 days inside. A voice whispered, worry seeping through. I wonder how many are still alive? You should throw away any hope of a normal environment past the red gate. Skin burning under the harsh sunlight, being pestered endlessly by poisonous bugs, or skin rotting due to the severe cold. As such, the weak will perish first. Oh God, even if they adapt to the environment, they must secure food next. They could attempt to feed off the monsters' corpses, but the gate is too high-leveled for lower-tier hunters. C-rank or lower hunters must all be gone by now. Then Sung Jin-Woo must also be gone. Did I just end up wasting my time in vain? No, wait. You're saying that Sung Jin-Woo isn't part of the White Tiger Guild, then how did he end up in there? He's my old acquaintance. He asked if he could take part in a C-rank raid, and I reluctantly introduced him here. Chief and, same minute is covering for Hunter Sung Jin-Woo. Does that mean exposing him is problematic? Not to mention that S-rank Huang Dong-su from overseas also knows about this E-rank's existence. Then there's nothing else I can do, is what you thought I'd say. For a long time, I've been talented in finding interesting situations, and I can feel something fishy here. Tell me the truth. What are you hiding? A voice declared, their tone demanding. Huang Dong-su, take your hand off my employee, a voice declared with authority. Are you ordering me? Someone who is playing leader in a backyard. What if and no? If this continues, S ranks will end up facing each other. Haha, Huang Dong-su responded mockingly. No way. I Kim Chul have failed. There's no way. Save me. I am someone who will be one of White Tiger's elite. I even received special coaching to become an elite captain, but I've failed. I can't accept this. If only I had food. Lack of food shouldn't be my fault. No, it's my responsibility as the captain, right? I am the captain, Captain Heya Hayaki. Kim Chul thought in desperation, his mind racing. Hayaki, right after Yeti Sea Captain, a new voice stated, providing a different perspective. Huff huff. A voice labored, each breath heavy and strained. Huff, due to the cold, huff. No, if I didn't starve for days, I wouldn't have been defeated, the voice added, a hint of self-reproach in its tone. Huff huff. I was wondering why I haven't spotted a single ice bear after entering the forest. The voice continued, their confusion slowly morphing into suspicion. No way, did those guys? No, they don't have the skills. It must have been Hiachi. There must be Hiachi nearby. Damn it. I need to quickly get away, the voice muttered, growing increasingly urgent. You want to go anytime? A new voice said, cutting through the silence, their tone filled with mockery. Yeah, A voice responded, equally challenging, the tension in the air thick. Not too shabby to be able to stop us. If both of you haven't reduced your strength in time, my arms would have been broken, a new voice declared, filled with a strange mix of surprise and condescension. I was the one to first suspect Sung Jin-Woo with ReAwakening, however. After testing him with a magic power detector of the highest grade, 2 months ago he was still in E rank. There's no way. That's unfortunate that Hunter Huang Dong-suk has departed from this world. But Sung Jin-Woo doesn't have the ability to wipe out an attack force. I know if they prepared a trap, the culprit must have been from your gene architectures. Then there's no reason to obsess over Hunter Sung Jin-Woo. It's just an excuse to deal with another human being. The voice paused, then continued, All right, I lost my excitement. I'll just head to bed. What is this? Your first time witnessing S ranks clashing with each other? I know Sung Jin-Woo's ability better than anyone. If it's him, he'll definitely return back alive. Another scene flashed, showing a group huddled together, their faces etched with confusion. Just what has happened? They are all low-rank hunters. How are they still alive? A voice muttered, bewildered. Warm clothing, blankets, tents, and all sorts of goods. If there's also food. If my hands weren't frozen, no. They prepared all these supplies and kept it only to themselves. Another voice exclaimed, their frustration growing. These guys, with my stomach full, I could have easily faced against Hiachi, you f***ers. Kim Chul, how did you get here? A voice questioned, their tone laced with suspicion. My attack force has been wiped out due to a lack of food and equipment, but how do you guys have all these supplies? That's why, can't you speak? Did your mouths get zoned shut? I don't think you're all accomplices who hid all these supplies. I'll let this go if you reveal the culprit. I'm talking about the one who hid the equipment and left their comrades to perish, the voice declared, their tone shifting from suspicion to outright threat. Here, the message in. I'll count to 3. If you don't reveal the culprit by then, I'll consider all of you as accomplices. 1, 2, I see. That girl must have volunteered to leave because she had some sort of plot. She must have departed since she lacked the confidence to survive by herself and tried to minimize the headcount in order to preserve the food supply. The culprit is you, Park Heejin, 3, 4. Chin-Woo, upper raid captain. A new voice suddenly declared, breaking the tension. Who is it that actually left their comrades to expire? The voice continued. Not to mention you came back with dead weight. What dead weight? How about you guys undo your stealth? Due to your powerful energy, hiding is pointless. They continued, their tone mocking. Those are, what a chilling energy. That's the boss. Ourselves, and with those numbers, the voice continued, their tone tinged with fear. Z said there must be over 20. There really was one, a useful guy among the trashes. What did you just call us, trashes? A voice questioned, their tone shifting to one of offense. You know our language, huh? How is conversation possible? Can you also speak with monsters? Is this also an effect from the system, to be able to converse? How splendid. There's someone I want to introduce, you're already acquaintances. He's the one who notified us that there's a son, one strong one among the humans. This guy wanted to face off with you. So, a voice said, their tone strangely conversational. Anything else to say? Another voice inquired, their tone filled with a strange mix of anticipation and nonchalance. You're an amusing guy, a voice responded, the tone a mix of amusement and slight curiosity. Anything else to say? A voice inquired, their tone laced with a mix of amusement and anticipation. You're an amusing guy, a new voice responded, their tone casual and strangely friendly. I have a proposal. It won't be detrimental to you. But first, let me ask you a question, the voice continued, their tone shifting to one of curiosity. Despite not being a human, why are you among the humans? What the hell are you talking about? A bewildered voice exclaimed. Haha, are you not aware of it? In our heads, there's a constant voice speaking to us to eliminate humans, but I cannot hear that voice in your presence, the voice explained. A voice telling them to eliminate humans, a voice echoed in surprise. Is it similar to the system's orders? If the voice doesn't apply, it must be due to becoming a player through the system. There's no need for us to engage in combat. We do not want unnecessary casualties in our hands. Hand over the humans behind you, then I'll spare your life. How about it? The voice offered, their tone now bordering on persuasive. Let me ask you a question as well. Who are you guys? Where did you come from, and why are you trying to eliminate humans? We are A voice began, before being cut off. There's no need for us to engage in combat. We do not want unnecessary casualties in our end. Hand over the humans behind you, then I'll spare your life. A voice repeated, their tone now more demanding. What? Just now? A confused voice said, not fully grasping the situation. Do you accept our proposal? A voice inquired. I refuse. Do you plan on facing me and my soldiers? The voice retorted, their tone shifting to one of outright defiance. Do you think you can withstand our numbers by yourself? Numbers? What numbers? A voice responded with skepticism. Ah, what is this? A voice exclaimed, filled with surprise. A monster. A monster suddenly appeared. Black soldiers and black ice bears. No way. Is this also some of Jin-Woo's doing? I'm sorry, what a cheap trick. Is it a cheap trick? A voice cried out in dismay. Retreat. It's not a battle we can get ourselves involved in, a commanding voice ordered. Calling it a cheap trick wasn't a bluff. Despite the advantage in numbers, I cannot maintain my army for long. They may be immortal, but the numbers will diminish if they keep getting destroyed. Since I leveled them up, they should be able to handle ourselves. But here's the problem. Just from a glance, I can tell that he's stronger. It'll be tough even if Igris and I team up. An ordinary soldier won't do. A voice mused, clearly assessing the situation. I need a stronger shadow. My name is Baruka. What is yours, Sung Jin-Woo? Cute dash, a voice exclaimed, before another scene flashed. It's been a while since I had this much excitement, a new voice said, their tone filled with a thrill of anticipation. Thanks to my magician, I gained some time. Hyuk, that last voice, it was definitely Sung Jin-Woo. That bastard. I'll deal with him, a voice exclaimed, filled with rage. There's no way he vanished from that, a voice said, their tone challenging. Stop wasting time and come out. Is this the limit of your soldiers? Another voice taunted, their tone mocking. Sung Jin-Woo, depart. A new voice cried out in anger. Sung Jin-Woo, it seems that I'm not the only one after your head. Kim Chul, just as I predicted, egress, a voice said, the tone a mixture of satisfaction and malicious intent. Sung Jin-Woo, you buster, a voice declared, their tone filled with challenge. Since the beginning, you predicted this. Damn it, how interesting. But nothing will change, the same voice said, their tone a mix of awe and determination. Arise, a voice commanded, a new force about to be unleashed into the fray. There's no point in hiding, a voice declared, their tone calm and confident. Arise, the voice commanded, a surge of dark energy erupting from the ground. Hey, you have successfully extracted the shadow. Did he get bigger? Please choose a name for the soldier. Kim Chul, no, since it's Chul, you're now Iron, the voice said, their tone amused. I am level 1 rank knight. Stop getting distracted. Do you think this lone soldier is enough to stop me? Of course not, the voice replied, a hint of playfulness entering their tone. Iron has used skill taunting cry. Dungeon boss has been taunted. Another amusing guy has shown up. I'll deal with you first. This slow soldier is no match for me, a new voice declared, their tone arrogant. Is that so? How about all three of us then? Misogene, we are all hunters. Fights like this. If that was the case, I would have never got my license, a voice replied, a touch of sarcasm evident. I've never heard or seen such a thing. Are we in a dream right now? A bewildered voice exclaimed. Effect paralysis has activated, the system announced. To be able to dodge a fatal strike in this situation, you sure are persistent. The enemy's resistance was too high. The effect was cancelled, a voice said with a hint of surprise. You're not in the position to say such a thing. How about you look around? A voice countered, with a mocking tone. Is that all your soldiers can do? A voice questioned, clearly unimpressed. You bastard, those soldiers will all vanish when I remove you. Throwing away your weapon? You skill, Dominator's Touch. Level 1 active skill, no mana required. You can control objects without touching them, a voice said, their tone slightly intrigued. It's accelerating. You bastards. I'll take care of you all, a voice cried out in rage. Looks like this is the end, a calm voice declared. Who do you think you're facing? A new voice exclaimed, with a note of challenge. I already told you. This is the end. The dungeon boss has been eliminated, a voice announced with finality. You leveled up. You leveled up. It's finally over, the system declared. Stop it already. Hey, a voice said with a mix of annoyance and amusement. Despite becoming a shadow, he's still a dance. Take it easy, I worry about the future. Oh wow, a voice exclaimed, their tone laced with surprise. Let's go back, go back. Outside the gate, we can finally go home. Who are you? Another voice questioned, their tone curious. This guy. The focus shifted, a new scene unfolding. There's no point in hiding. A commanding voice echoed, as a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. Arise, the figure commanded, and a towering shadow soldier materialized beside him. Hey, you have successfully extracted the shadow. Did he get bigger? Please choose a name for this soldier. The figure asked, seemingly amused. Kim Chul no. Since it's Chul, you're now Iron. The figure decided with a chuckle. I am level 1 rank knight. Stop getting distracted. Do you think this lone soldier is enough to stop me? Of course not, the figure retorted, their tone laced with sarcasm. Iron has used skill, taunting cry. Dungeon boss has been taunted. Another amusing guy has shown up. I'll deal with you first. This slow soldier is no match for me. A new voice declared, brimming with confidence. Is that so? How about all three of us then? A voice replied, their tone cool. Miss Jean, we are all hunters. Fights like this. If that was the case, I would have never got my license. I've never heard or seen such a thing. Are we in a dream right now? A voice muttered, bewildered by the situation. Effect, paralysis has activated. The system announced. To be able to dodge a fatal strike in this situation. You sure are persistent. The enemy's resistance was too high. The effect was cancelled. You're not in the position to say such a thing. How about you look around? A mocking voice taunted. Is that all your soldiers can do? A voice asked with a scoff. You bastard. Those soldiers will all vanish when I remove you. Throwing away your weapon? You have activated the skill, Dominator's Touch. Level 1 active skill, no mana required. You can control objects without touching them. It's accelerating. A voice declared, clearly amazed. You bastards. I'll take care of you all. A voice shouted in rage, the battle reaching a fever pitch. Looks like this is the end, a voice said calmly, their tone strangely detached. Who do you think you're facing? A new voice declared, their tone mocking. I already told you. This is the end. The dungeon boss has been eliminated. A voice announced triumphantly. You leveled up. You leveled up. It's finally over. The system declared, the sounds of victory ringing in their ears. Stop it already. Hey. Despite becoming a shadow, he's still a dance. Take it easy, I worry about the future. A voice said, their tone a mix of annoyance and amusement. Oh wow, another voice exclaimed, their tone filled with surprise. Let's go back, go back. Outside the gate, we can finally go home. Who are you? A voice asked cautiously, breaking the momentary silence. This guy. The air hung heavy with anticipation outside the ominous red gate. It's been a week inside that gate, a voice murmured, thick with worry. How about the master heads home first while we keep watch? Another suggested, though his tone lacked conviction. A firm voice, laced with authority, cut through their anxiety. How could I rest at home when my members are stuck in there? I'll wait until morning. Suddenly, a collective gasp rippled through the assembled group. The red gate is opening, someone shouted, his voice trembling with a mixture of fear and hope. The dungeon has been cleared. People are coming out. Kim Chul? Did Kim Chul succeed? A voice asked, desperate for good news. Figures began to emerge from the gate, their forms barely visible in the dim light. Hunter Park, Hunter Go, Hunter Yun, a man called out, relief evident in his voice as he recognized each survivor. They came back. They survived. Then, a pause, heavy with unspoken dread. Hunter Sung Jin-Woo. Just as I thought, a voice declared, tinged with bitterness. The gate is gone. But Kim Chul. What happened to Kim Chul? A chilling realization settled upon the group like a shroud. No way. These are all the survivors, someone whispered, his voice hollow. Yes, a survivor confirmed, his gaze downcast. It's just us. Only the low-ranked hunters have survived. A wave of despair washed over the onlookers. No, an A rank and only a single B rank? Just what happened inside? Amidst the turmoil, a figure stepped forward, his demeanor strangely detached. Let's go, he said to one of the survivors. I'll drive you home. Hold it, a commanding voice interjected. A tall, imposing man with an air of authority approached the detached figure. Let's talk for a bit. I'm currently tired. If you've got something to ask, go ask your guild members, the detached figure retorted, his voice edged with irritation. This wasn't a request, the imposing man stated, his gaze unwavering. I am Beck Ho, the guild master of White Tiger. We have lost 9 guild members from this incident. His voice hardened. Or perhaps a threat. So what? As the master, shouldn't I be allowed to ask some questions? I saved the remaining 3 people, the detached figure countered, a hint of defiance in his tone. If you're the master, shouldn't you thank me first? Baekho's expression softened slightly. I was being too difficult, he conceded. You're right. I apologize. He turned to one of the female survivors, her face pale with exhaustion. Mississippi Park, he asked, his voice gentler now. Who is he, and why is he so irritated? I'm not sure, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. After he dealt with the boss, he shouted something 3 times in front of the corpse, and then, I'm sorry, master. It must be because he's tired. He's not a bad person. No, that's not the problem, Baekho mused, his eyes narrowed in thought. Why haven't you recruited him yet? He fixed her with a pointed look. To be so confident against me, he must be prepared to lose an arm in a fight against him. Hurry it up. Do it now. I will do my best, she promised, but Baekho was not satisfied. That's not enough, he insisted. I will give you my complete support. Bring that man over to our guild at all costs. My eyes weren't wrong. Understood, she affirmed, bowing her head. Meanwhile, the detached figure, Sung Jin-Woo, was lost in his own world. Was it due to a difference in strength? He wondered, staring at a notification window only he could see. You have failed all 3 attempts. Shadow extraction is no longer possible. He sighed, a flicker of disappointment crossing his face. He examined a newly acquired item, a dagger that pulsed with a faint magical energy. Barucha's dagger, he read, item class A, type dagger. A dagger wielded by the great warrior Barucha. The lightweight magic enchantment will make the wielder more agile. Attack plus 110, agility plus 10. A small smile touched his lips. I'm glad that I was able to obtain this at the least. As Jin-Woo was driven away, the other survivors exchanged uneasy glances. You did well, one said to another. Get home safe, okay? Hey Appa, a young girl's voice called out. Thank you for today. Tomorrow. No, I'll see you later. Later, ah. It was past midnight, almost 3:50 a.m. Time seemed to blur for Jin-Woo. It's back to raiding with Jin-Ho starting today, he thought wearily. Jin-Ho, a young man with a nervous demeanor, greeted Jin-Woo with a mixture of respect and apprehension. You took a cab with those? He remarked, gesturing to Jin-Woo's worn-out clothes. That's just like you. I was planning on picking you up until... The young name is the one helping me, so I should be the one to come over at 6 o'clock. Let's depart. On the way there, let's pick someone up. Huh? Who? Jin-Ho asked, surprised. Someone you know. Come out, Jin-Woo said, dialing a number on his phone. I'll give you a lift, Song-yi. Jin-Ho's eyes widened in realization. By Song-yi, do you mean, right? He knows her number and is able to hold a friendly conversation? Do Song-yi and Hyung-nim have a deep relationship? He shook his head, trying to dispel the thought. Have we arrived, Hyung-Nim? Do I have to start calling Song-yi's sister-in-law from now on? What if she's just my sister's friend? Song-yi, a bright-eyed young girl, greeted them with a cheerful smile. Good morning, Appa. Good morning, raid captain. Hello, Jin-Ho stammered, still flustered. Did you get some sleep last night? I was unable to sleep, Song-yi admitted. You must be tired, Jin-Woo said, concern evident in his voice. Get some rest in the car. How about you, Appa? Song-yi asked. Just a quick nap, Jin-Woo replied. It was already past 4 a.m. when I got home. Jin-Ho's mind raced, trying to piece together the puzzle. Unable to sleep, tired. He got home at past, and he said she was just a friend of his sister? I'm a young man, yeah, and Song-yi is a minor, and never mind. He's not normal. I shouldn't judge Hyung-Nim with my ordinary standards. He shook his head again, resolving to focus on the task at hand. Let's hurry and finish it up, he said, his voice firmer now. Yes, Hyung-Nim, Jin-Ho replied, a newfound determination in his eyes. Yes, Appa, Song-yi echoed, her smile unwavering. The car sped off into the night, carrying its passengers towards an uncertain future, their lives intertwined by the enigmatic events within the Red Gate. Who? Hyung-Nim, what are these guys? Jin-Ho asked, his voice filled with bewildered curiosity as he stared at the shadowy figures that had materialized around Sung Jin-Woo. Sung Jin-Woo gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. Ah, this is a first for Jin-Ho, isn't it? He paused. It's my skill. You can summon these guys with a skill. It's a bit too complicated to explain, but it's convenient. He watched as the shadows moved, their movements fluid and silent. They can hunt for me. They can also do chores. Jin-Ho's eyes widened further. Yum. Can I at least collect the magic crystals? He seemed utterly bewildered, before expressing a hint of frustration. Why do I feel like I've lost my place? Sung Jin-Woo chuckled softly. He really is a missing piece with this. He paused, his gaze becoming more focused. Raids with Jin-Ho should be finished tomorrow. Thank you, Jin-Ho said, though his tone was a mix of nervousness and excitement. Scary. The next day, the agreement between Sung Jin-Woo and Jin-Ho concluded. 19 raids cleared with a surprising efficiency. But the world outside didn't stop. News reports flashed across screens, bringing with them unsettling tidings. Eastern United States, A-rank dungeon, a devastating turn of events, one report announced. An A-rank hunter attack force got annihilated. Another voice, filled with trepidation, echoed the concern. I can't believe it. A human-type monster. We couldn't find a single monster throughout the entire dungeon. To think such a monster would appear in the boss room. I thought something was up, a different voice murmured. But magic flowing out from a single monster is equal to an A-ranked dungeon. Just how strong is this monster? A cacophony of voices, filled with panic and disbelief, rose, before stopping abruptly as if someone had been silenced. Hey, don't come any closer. Oh, my ears hurt. One of them cried out. Sung Jin-Woo sighed and looked at the fallen figures. Don't worry, he said. I didn't harm them. I only knocked them out. Why did you guys attack me so suddenly? He gestured towards himself. I'm not a monster. I'm a human. He paused, before shaking his head slightly. He can't understand me. Well, not like a Yankee can understand me. I'm Korean. I want to go home. With the raids completed, Sung Jin-Woo and Jin-Ho found themselves in a small, unassuming restaurant. It was their last meal together before Sung Jin-Woo went his own way. I'm sorry, Hyung-nim, Jin-Ho said, his expression contrite. I wanted to take you somewhere more luxurious for our last time. I'm worried this doesn't suit the taste of a young master from a rich household. Sung Jin-Woo shook his head, a smile playing on his lips. What do you plan on doing from now on? He asked, changing the subject. Well, a harmful substance has been detected, Jin-Ho said. Since the raids are over, detox has been completed. I can get my guild master license as soon as I finish a simple paper exam from the association. He paused, his tone more determined. Then I'll go have a talk with my father, with the license. And my promise with you, it's writing on it. He laughed softly. It's nice to receive a 30 billion building, but that's just a bonus. My real goal was to level up. Since I have met my goal, there's no need for me to hang around any longer. He paused for a moment and then recited, status, name, Sung Jin-Woo, LV 61, job, Shadow Monarch, title, the one who overcame adversity plus one more. HP 13,001, MP 1677, fatigue 0, strength 142, vitality 101, agility 121, intelligence 103, AP 0, physical damage reduction 46%. He looked up at Sung Jin-Woo. But what will Hyung-Nim do from now on? Sung Jin-Woo didn't respond right away. Instead, he examined something in his palm. Item, castle door key, item class A, type key. A key that can open the demon castle's door. Obtained by the gatekeeper, he finished. I will be out of contact for a while. There's somewhere I have to go. Jin-Ho's eyes widened, a flicker of concern in them. Hyung-Nim, if I'm a bother to you, please let me know. I won't bother you anymore. Sung Jin-Woo sighed. Did he misunderstand me in a weird way again? This guy, yes. He turned to Jin-Ho, his voice firm. Hyung-Nim, Jin-Ho, what am I to you? Jin-Ho seemed surprised. I have an older brother, who is about 10 years older than I am. He doesn't like me, so we haven't spent a lot of time together. He looked at Sung Jin-Woo, his voice sincere. By comparison, Hyung-Nim is someone who has saved my life and also helped with my problem. To me, Hyung-Nim is more like a brother than my real brother. A small smile played on Sung Jin-Woo's lips. If that's how you think about me, I will consider you as my younger brother. Hyung-Nim, Jin-Ho exclaimed, his eyes lighting up. Can I hug you? Hey, Sung Jin-Woo said, his cheeks reddening slightly. You drunk? No, youngin? Jin-Ho just smiled and said, I have never been more awake. News reports crackled in the background. They say there has been a major accident while training new recruits. Another voice interjected. Is it true that all the high-ranked hunters have retreated and only the low-ranked hunters have survived? There's also a rumor from the survivors that there's someone who helped them. A third voice, calm and authoritative, replied. The investigation with the association has already been completed. It's true that there has been an accident, but there was no outside party involved. Outside party? A fourth voice asked, doubt laced in its tone. Then why are you blocking interviews with the survivors? Isn't that about me? Another replied, before being cut off. That's it for the questions, the authoritative voice stated. Damn reporters, another voice grumbled. They're good at sniffing out things. BMG is requesting a call. What should I do? Plus raise a BMCH. Another voice interrupted. Connecting? Bakian, why is your phone turned off? I plan on hiding until the reporters quiet down, came the response. Ah, that red gate, said a voice from another phone call. I also heard the news in Japan. What? You're in Japan? Came the response, disbelief evident. Don't mess with me. I'm not in the mood for jokes, the first voice retorted. Don't worry too much about that. It'll quiet down soon. There's big news, he said, his voice shifting in tone. I thought you were in Japan. Japan secretly called the Korean Hunters Association about a week ago. After checking it out myself, it's more serious than I thought. This will spread all over Korea soon. Japan called the Korean Hunters Association? What were they asking? Came the query. They requested for a consultation from hunters that had experienced the Jeju Island raid. Tell me in detail, came the response. An S-rank gate opened in Jeju Island 4 years ago. After failing 3 operations, the government has given up on Jeju Island. Even after 4 years, it's still packed with ants, came the reply. Due to that reason, Young and I had a near-death experience. It's a nightmare I don't want to remember. I think there has been a mutation that shouldn't matter. They're all stuck in the island. It shouldn't matter, even if we leave it alone, came the hesitant reply. Well, they can leave the island by flying over the ocean. An ant with wings has been discovered on Japan's coast. Those bastards are evolving at a terrifying degree. You don't go out as often these days, Eugene Ho remarked, a hint of curiosity in his voice. And now you're suddenly going on a trip? Sung Jin-Woo paused, a small smile playing on his lips. I'll be going away for a week. Eugene Ho's eyes widened, his playful tone shifting to one of genuine inquisitiveness. Who are you going on a trip with? Did my young Nim get a special someone? Perhaps with my friend? Sung Jin-Woo simply chuckled and shook his head, choosing not to elaborate. His mind was already on the task ahead. When I faced Kaburo's, he thought, it was at least 20 levels higher than me. Now my levels are 3 times higher. I shouldn't struggle like back then. He focused on the item in his hand, a sense of anticipation building within him. The familiar mechanical voice echoed in his mind. Item, castle door key, item class, A, type key. A key that can open the demon castle's door. Obtained by the gatekeeper. Would you like to use the key to enter? The voice asked. Why then? Sung Jin-Woo muttered before responding aloud. Yes. The space around him shifted, the air shimmering before solidifying into a stone hallway. A quest has arrived? What's this? He muttered. I can't sense any monsters. Is it just a hallway? He looked ahead, sensing the direction of the exit. W, is the exit that way? Quest pays. A notification appeared in his mind, detailing the task ahead. A normal quest. Collect demon souls. Part 1. The demon castle is filled with demons. Hunt down demons and collect their souls for special rewards. Quest completion requirement, 10,000 demon souls. Rewards, -1 item of your choosing, 2 bonus stats, +20, and 3 hidden rewards. Sung Jin-Woo's eyes widened slightly. It's been a while since I've received a quest. Rewards are pretty amazing. He thought of the potential benefits. I can receive bonus stats and choose any item from the store. There are items priced over 10 billion gold, and I can get them if I just clear the quest. He paused, his eyes narrowing slightly. But if the rewards are great, the difficulty must also be high. I can't even find any monsters. What a field type. He examined the hallway again, its structure shifting subtly. I didn't expect the dungeon to be a field type. Did the dungeon recreate entirely of souls? He looked ahead, his determination set. Collecting 10,000 demon souls, that must mean there are at least 10,000 demons in the castle. He paused, contemplating the sheer scale of the task. You can obtain 1 soul per demon, but there are demons with multiple souls in upper floors. I used the going on a trip excuse, but will a week be enough? He walked further down the hallway, his senses alert, ready for anything. It's easy. You defeated 3 low-grade demons, the mechanical voice intoned. You received 100 by 3 EXP. You received X3 demon souls. Right now, EXP required until next level up, 59,700. Sung Jin-Woo nodded to himself. There's an experience indicator, now how convenient. It's a fight against time. Meanwhile, at a restaurant far away, Eugene Ho sat across from his father, a serious expression on his face. So you want to manage the Yojin Guild? Yu Jin-ho nodded, his voice firm. That's right, father. This is your guild master license and your retrack record at HM. He watched his father's face, a hint of frustration rising within him. To think my father would have a problem deciding between my brother and I. As father already knows, there is a big risk in inviting an outsider as the guild master, and to stop, he trailed off, his gaze shifting to someone who had just entered the room. Come in. This man is Hunter Gam Young-won, his father said, gesturing towards the newcomer. He's a survivor from the recent White Tiger, Red Gate incident. Please sit, Yu Jin-ho said, his voice polite yet guarded. Why is a survivor hiding from the media here? He wondered. Please tell my son who was with you that day, his father prompted. Well, there was a high school student, a female hunter, and Mr. Sung Jin-Woo, Gam Young-won said, his tone still filled with a trace of shock. He paused, his expression thoughtful. Thanks to Mr. Sung Jin-Woo, we were able to survive the Red Gate. I was wondering why they suddenly got so close. Suddenly, Yu Jin-ho muttered. Youngin, what did you do over there? At first we were a bit flustered that two Iranian hunters were joining us to watch a training session. But it's obvious, even without listening. I'm the one who understands Hyungnim's ability the most now. He paused, a knowing look on his face. I'm not the only one who knows about Hyungnim's secret. Yu Jin-ho's mind raced. The negotiation with my father is now, but they are saying I shouldn't reveal Mr. Sung Jin-Woo's existence. It was hard for me to understand why White Tiger Guild made such a decision. And then I received a call from the chairman, his father said, interrupting his thoughts. Hunter Guang Young-hwan. That should be enough. You should already know that I'm looking for information on qualified hunters. I just had to investigate the Red Gate incident when I heard there might be a third party, but I didn't expect to find his name in your raid member list. He paused, his tone shifting slightly. The timing of your negotiation is unfortunate. You had great help in obtaining your guild license from Hunter Sung Jin-Woo. He looked directly at Yu Jin-ho. Do you acknowledge that? Yu Jin-ho nodded, his expression resolute. I acknowledge it. There's no difference between my brother and me who have received outside help. My father has no merit in selecting me. Do you have anything else to say? Will you but leave the Eugene Guild to me? His father paused, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. All right, I'll leave the Eugene Guild to you. But why? It's just like you said. It's risky to leave the guild to an outsider. Is there a need to take on the risk when I have you be? But I tried to fool you. What kind of fool asserts the negatives during a negotiation? He paused, his gaze piercing. This man, Hunter Sung Jin-Woo, can you bring him over to your Gene Guild? Yu Jin-ho's eyes lit up. Finally a chance. I will try my best. His father chuckled softly. Tiger's kid is still a tiger. Meanwhile, someone else was having a meeting of their own. All right, I understand. There are two S-rank hunters I tried to reach out for Eugene Guild. Cha-Hain from the Hunters Guild, and Minot Byangeo, who is retired. Cha-Hain is limited to the Vice Master position under Choi Jong-un, who is known as the ultimate weapon. Compared to that, there's merit in becoming Eugene Guild's master with financial backing. I use that as a condition. 1 minute, young guy who has a healthy body and can still be active as a hunter. He chose to retire after failing the Jeju Island raid 3 times. But the Ant Corps discovered in Japan. If a 4th Jeju Island raid is formed, I should be able to win him over. Will I be able to win them over first? Or will you win over Hunter Sung Jin-Woo first? This will be fun, Jin-ho. Back in the Demon Castle, the mechanical voice echoed in Sung Jin-Woo's mind. You defeated a low-grade demon? You received 100 EXP, collected demon souls, 309. A 10,000. Item, low-grade demon horn, item class, not applicable, type, jump. 2 tiny horns from low-grade demon's head. Demon's horns are used as materials for high-grade magic and fetch a high price. Sung Jin-Woo continued his journey, his focus unwavering, the quest for power driving him forward. I still got a long way to go, Sung Jin-Woo murmured, his voice barely audible above the ambient hum of the strange, ethereal world surrounding him. A mechanical voice echoed in his mind, its tone monotonous and devoid of emotion. You defeated a low-grade demon. You received 100 EXP, collected demon souls, 309. A 10,000. Demon Castle. Sung Jin-Woo surveyed his surroundings. The starting difficulty wasn't very high. Looks like this area is all cleared, he mused. Monsters' levels are D rank at best. To raise 1 level, I need to clear C rank dungeons 9 times. But despite that, they gave a considerable amount of experience. Can I raise one level in 4 hours here? As my level increases, the required amount of experience also increases. In other words, it's gradually becoming harder to grow. I felt it when I met back in Ho. My current rank is just barely an S rank. To become stronger, I can't start to lose my pace. He focused on the notification in his mind, feeling a familiar sense of purpose. Item. Entry permit. Item class, a type. A permit to enter the second floor of Demon Castle. Usable in floor movement, magic circle on the first floor. Sung Jin-Woo paused, considering his next move. Wait, Chun, let's move to the second floor. His gaze shifted to a shimmering portal, its edges crackling with energy. Floor movement magic circle. Oh, Cocket must be over there. It's where Nonsense Tower is located. As he approached the portal, a sense of unease washed over him. Any one of monster-type soldiers, come out? Before he could react, a monstrous figure emerged, its form colossal and imposing. It's the leader of Ice Bears. Sung Jin-Woo exclaimed, his voice tinged with a mixture of surprise and apprehension. He's huge, isn't he? Like a heavy-duty vehicle. Well, let's go, huh? With a sudden burst of speed, the Ice Bear charged, its massive form a blur of movement. Damn, are those bastards? Sung Jin-Woo muttered, his focus sharpening. This guy is wild. You're my tanker from now on. Run until you reach the magic circle. As Sung Jin-Woo navigated the chaotic landscape of the Demon Castle, news was spreading in the world beyond. At the Bureau of Hunters in Washington, United States, tension was mounting. Hell, is that him? A voice asked, its tone laced with apprehension. Bureau of Hunters, Deputy Director, another voice responded, their tone official and urgent. Yes, sir. He's claiming that he's a hunter from South Korea, the first voice continued. Did you figure out that man's identity? Another voice asked, its tone filled with unease. How did a hunter from South Korea come out of a dungeon on the other side of the earth? He's claiming he was stuck in the dungeon when the gate closed 10 years ago and found himself in the United States when he opened his eyes, the deputy director responded. This is an unprecedented incident, one of them stated, his voice filled with disbelief. Not only did a human come out of an A-rank gate, but the attack force, comprised of A-rank hunters, were helpless against him. Is that all from the interrogation? Another asked. Why aren't you guys gathering more information? We highly suspect that he's a monster with human memories. Without help from an S-rank hunter, the entire Washington capital might be placed in danger. After checking with the Scavenger Guild, there's one S-rank hunter in Washington that is fluent in Korean. Scavenger Guild's main hunter, Mr. Huang. Is he on his way? The deputy director asked. He recently finished his business in Korea and is on his way back, the voice replied. The interrogation will continue tomorrow morning. One of the men let out a heavy sigh. What a shitty day. A pest I wanted to finish with my own hands ended up getting stuck in a red gate. The timing can't get any worse. That's great, another said sarcastically. Ah, right, what was that man's name again? The pronunciation is a bit hard, but some Illinois? A South Korean hunter. Each. Meanwhile, back in the Demon Castle, Sung Jin-Woo was making his way through its strange and shifting levels, his focus unwavering despite the challenges. Demon Castle's floor is made up of a separated world, item, entry permit, item class, a type. A permit to enter the second floor of Demon Castle. Usable in floor movement, magic circle on the first floor. He paused, examining the item once again. Perdisligation, a monster holding the entry permit randomly appears in each floor, and you can only progress to the next floor by acquiring the entry permit. If this giant tower has 100 floors, you could say that 100 different worlds must exist here. He continued onwards, his steps measured and his senses on high alert. Second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and the 27th floor. As time went by, I climbed the floors at a scary pace. Sung Jin-Woo thought as the mechanical voice echoed. You defeated an intermediate gray demon. You received 300 EXP. You received a demon soul. Dominator's touch skill level has risen. Sung Jin-Woo's expression was calm as he calculated his progress. Intermediate gray demons are high mid-C rank at best. The difficulty of higher grade, or even stronger demons, will probably go up exponentially. Even the difference between A-rank and S-rank hunters are distinct. Collected demon souls, 2,116 to 10,000. The problem was time. If there are really 100 floors, reaching the top floor in 1 week will be impossible. He paused, reflecting on his recent experiences. When I first obtained the Demon Castle's key, I was afraid that this place would be an S-rank dungeon. But my anxiety started to disappear with time and boring battles. 47, 48, 49, 54, collected demon souls, 2,561 to 10,000. He stopped before a large, imposing door, his senses sharpening. The ruler of lower floors. Avaricious Vulcan's Guardy. Vulcan's Guard, Vulcan's Guard. He took a deep breath. Let's begin. As the doors opened, a monstrous figure filled the doorway. A boss gray demon, Sung Jin-Woo murmured, his eyes narrowing slightly. That giant looks dangerous. I'll have to take care of it. He moved with a sudden burst of speed, his form becoming a blur as he engaged with the enemy. Take care of the rest, he ordered, his voice sharp and commanding. Vulcan's Guard has discovered an intruder. A voice echoed through the chamber. Oh, 18. Get rid of them, Hobbit. Even if those guards are high-ranked demons, I've been constantly raising the levels of my shadow soldiers. Sung Jin-Woo muttered to himself, his movements fluid and precise. Shadow soldiers are strengthened for my intelligence stat. Not to mention, the number of shadows I can save also increases. I have enough mana for regeneration after increasing my intelligence stat by a lot. He paused, his eyes narrowing. But that guy isn't moving at all. I'll just go and finish it. He launched himself towards the boss, his movements quick and efficient. This is easier than I. The fight was over quickly. Sung Jin-Woo took a moment to assess the fallen figure. What is that movement? He paused, checking his stats. State of strength 150, agility 139, senses 111, vitality 109, intelligence 109. Collected demon souls, 4,388 to 10,000. Skill, shadow extraction, LV2. Job-specific skill. No mana required. A shadow soldier is created from a body without life by taking out its mana. The chance of failure increases the higher the target stats are and the more time has passed since the target's demise. He looked at his reward. Item. Entry permit. Item class, a type. A permit to enter the second floor of Demon Castle. Usable in floor movement, magic circle on the first floor. This bastard, Sung Jin-Woo muttered, a mixture of frustration and astonishment coloring his voice. He replayed the encounter in his mind, the image of the colossal demon soaring through the air etched in his memory. I lost my temper and engaged him directly, he thought, his eyes widening slightly. But why did he fly so far away? He paused, understanding dawning upon him. Ah, that's right. The stats I stupidly invested into my strength. He glanced at his status screen, a mechanical voice echoing in his thoughts. Job, Shadow Monarch. Title, the one who overcame adversity plus one more. HP, 13,001. MP, 1,677. Fatigue, 0. Strength, 150. Vitality, 109. Agility, 139. Intelligence, 109. Senses, 111. AP, 0. Physical damage reduction, 46%. He shook his head slightly. His strength was formidable, but it was only one piece of the puzzle. The mechanical voice continued, its tone emotionless. The ruler of the lower floors. Avaricious Vulcan is using skill rough. Vulcan will maintain its rage status. Vulcan's stats will increase by 50%. This is of the same skill Caberos used. Vulcan will feel less pain. He got faster. Sung Jin-Woo thought, his senses heightened. I can't avoid this. It'll be a direct hit iron. The impact was jarring, the force of the blow sending tremors through his body. I can withstand this due to my strength, Sung Jin-Woo thought, his focus sharpening. But I need to find an opening for a counterattack. On the next attack, during its continuous movement now. He moved with lightning speed, narrowly avoiding the next attack. Was he also aiming for this chance? He narrowly avoided a second, third, and fourth strike, his senses on high alert. Damn, I can't avoid it while I'm in meta. If I could move my body, wait. A new idea formed in his mind, a spark of inspiration igniting his determination. Move my body. Skill. Dominator's touch activated. He planted his feet, bracing against the force of the attack. Even though I can't push him back, I can use the recoil to push myself back. With a surge of power, Sung Jin-Woo launched himself backward, narrowly avoiding the demon's next assault. I did it, he thought, his chest heaving. That was close. The only place I can cause damage to Vulcan with a dagger is on his head. But it'll be too dangerous to aim for his head while reading his movements. I need to seal his grotesque movements first. I need to create an unavoidable situation. That's it. Sung Jin-Woo began to move with deliberate precision, drawing the demon into a deadly dance. He moved with a new strategy, his movements quick, precise, and utterly unpredictable. The demon, in its rage, became predictable, following the same pattern. He completely lost his cool, Sung Jin-Woo thought, his focus sharpening. Good. Just keep following me. He began to move at an incredible pace, his speed a blur. Now, skill sprint activated. He moved with a new power, a new level of speed, his body a blur. Even if you noticed it, it's too late now. It'll be hard for you to suddenly stop at that speed. Meanwhile, in the world beyond the demon castle, the search for Sung Jin-Woo had begun. A young man from Unit 902, a voice said, a hint of confusion present. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him in a while. Where did he go? Another voice responded, Hunter Sung Jin-Woo. His sister said that he's going on a trip with his friends for a week. I've been in contact with Insomni, who came along with Sung Jin-Woo that day. How does Miss Parkajan know about that? A third voice asked, their tone filled with curiosity. I asked her, since she's close with Sung Jin-Woo's younger sister. We came all the way to his house, but it was all in vain. A pause followed, the weight of the unspoken words hanging in the air. No, there's something strange, another voice stated. There's no trace of him leaving the country. No records of him withdrawing money or using his credit card. Well, my job is to follow hunters. You're able to check those things. And he was last found somewhere downtown, according to the Hunter Association's tracker. Isn't this quite mysterious? One of them asked. If he got kidnapped, they would at least need China's special unit comprised of high-ranking hunters. Hunter Sung Jin-Woo did, the other responded, his voice trailing off. Miss Parkajan should know that firsthand, the first speaker responded, a hint of apprehension in his voice. Just where in the world did he disappear to? As expected from a boss-grade monster, Sung Jin-Woo murmured, his breath catching slightly as he surveyed the spoils of the recent encounter. A mechanical voice echoed in his mind, its tone devoid of any emotion. You obtained item. Demon Monarch Earring. You obtained item. Orb of Avarice. You obtained a Vulcan's Horn X2. You obtained ingredient item. World Trees Fragment. Sung Jin-Woo's gaze sharpened as he focused on the details. Item ingredient item World Trees Fragment. Item class type. Ingredient. A leftover piece of wood from removing the corrupted parts of Vulcan's club, which was created from the world trees. Branch wood from the world tree contains a powerful magic, and thus used as an ingredient for magic items of the highest quality. An ingredient for magic items of the highest quality. I can't throw it away without knowing what it can be used for. I'll find a use for it someday. He continued his assessment. Item. Demon Monarch Earring. Item class. S-type accessory. Plus 20 strength. Plus 20 vitality. Set effect will activate if this item is equipped along with Demon Monarch's necklace. Demon Monarch's ring. Set effect 1. Locked. Set effect 2. Locked. This item has a set effect. Guess I'll find out soon enough. Will I find the rest of the set items if I continue to hunt demons here? And lastly, this is an amazing effect. If I had magic-type skills, I would have wanted to use it myself. His attention then turned to another item. Item. Orb of Avarice. Item class. A type magic item. An orb created by hardening blood of high-rank demon Vulcan. It will amplify magic effects to deal more damage. Effect. Desire for destruction. Double magic damage. It can double magic damage. He shook his head slightly. Can you not do that? Because of you. He's doing the same thing, not to mention I was the one to face him. He thought. Okay, since you lent me your shield, let's say that you helped. Shield. Maybe, magic unit? He dismissed the thought. Stop paying attention to weird things, and come over here. Here, fire. As he moved onwards, the mechanical voice interrupted his thoughts. Incredible, I don't see it. Item. Orb of Avarice. Item class. A type magic item. An orb created by hardening blood of high-rank demon Vulcan. It will amplify magic effects to deal more damage. Effect. Desire for destruction. A description saying that I can't hand it over to others? This will make magic-type hunters go crazy. Meanwhile, in a brightly lit office, a man leaned back in his chair, a mixture of curiosity and concern on his face. I didn't expect such an interesting incident to develop the moment I arrive in Washington. Tahif Baba. How amazing. A monster that can speak a human language and it's Korean. Sung Jin-Woo, in a separate location, stood across from the man, his expression calm, but watchful. I'm telling you that I'm not a monster. If you doubt my identity, you can do a DNA test, or whatever. We need to stay alert since you came out of a gate. A monster could be disguising themselves as a human. It'll be beneficial for you to cooperate with me. I can decide whether you're a monster or a human, right? He paused, his eyes narrowing. Did you perish in a dungeon? How did you survive in there for 10 years? Are you undead, then? Can someone who departs in a dungeon come back? The man paused, considering Sung Jin-Woo's words. Just like you, it's impossible. The departed cannot come back, then my brother. I'll be the one to ask questions. Let me ask you a question as well. Gate and monsters, how much do you know about those topics? Quiet, Deputy Director. A voice interrupted, the tone sharp and commanding. You're saying that you know something about dungeons, gate, monsters? Sung Jin-Woo's gaze sharpened, his voice calm, but firm. Those are nothing but a prelude to the real war. And the greatest disaster among them has woken up not too long ago. Then your true goal is, what is the greatest disaster? Sung Jin-Woo paused before answering. Stop the disaster. I cannot say. The human who came back to stop the disaster cannot reveal what the disaster is. Isn't it better for people to work together? The man asked, his expression thoughtful. Numbers are nothing against his power. Even if the sloppy people gather together, they will just end up being used. Sung Jin-Woo responded. You should already know that, since you're quite strong yourself. Quite. How do you look down on me? Therefore, only you can stop it. Sung Jin-Woo's tone shifted, becoming cold and dismissive. 1014, 1S4, he paused. And there's no point in dealing with you anymore. A voice echoed from the background. His name is Sung Illinois 1. If his hair is taken care of, he will definitely match his picture. But he didn't age that much despite being in a dungeon for 10 years. Sung Jin-Woo's expression darkened. He was being analyzed, categorized, filed away. Your days spent as a hunter were splendid. You would have made a big sum of money in this current age. There is a grading system in place now, and at my level you can live without worry. One must adapt to the new age. The man then paused, his tone shifting to one that was more personal. Spouse's name is Park Kin-hee. You have 2 children. Your son is, do you remember your daughter's name? Sung Jin-Woo's eyes widened slightly. Sung Jin-ah, and your son, Sung Jin-Woo. The man said, his tone mocking. Sung Jin-Woo's body went rigid, a flicker of something dangerous crossing his eyes. What is that? He asked, his voice low. That bloodlust. I told you that I'm the one asking the questions. I need to hear your answer, and if I don't answer, I will have to use force. The man's expression hardened. How arrogant. This may be a second chance given by the gods. He sighed. Okay. You must be a monster, Deputy Director, he announced to the other man in the room. This man is a monster. He will be acting soon. You should evacuate quickly. What? The Deputy Director replied, his face filling with shock. Wait. I just returned home from South Korea. Sung Jin-Woo paused, his expression somber. I know quite well about your son's current status. Your son is gone. Sung Jin-Woo's voice deepened. You can directly hand your will to your son. The scene shifted, and Sung Jin-Woo stood amidst chaos. Iron, egress. Open up a path. Shadows moved and coalesced, forming a barrier as Sung Jin-Woo moved forward. Are you surprised by how strong my kids are? He asked, his voice calm, but filled with a hint of something dangerous. You didn't expect this, did you? Can the undead also feel fear? He paused. Well, it doesn't matter.